we at? Here we go. And we're here. What up? What up, y'all? What up? What up? What up? What up? What up? What up? Goodness.
What's good, folks?
Yeah. We are here.
We are here. It's still early. I can get away with the intro.
Oh yeah. Go ahead.
Welcome everyone to the Black Culture Geeks podcast. This is my man SBJ. And I am Tombstone the Dead Man. And we are just a couple of geeks talking about pop culture from a black perspective. Facts indeed. Now, I am fully aware that a lot of you have come here today to get responses, shit.
Let me explain.
All right, bet.
So, we all know what just happened. So it was a monumental occurrence. A great shift is due. That could refer to a couple different things, and understand the word "great" is not always a positive thing.
No.
I'm talking about magnitude.
Yes.
And for various reasons, we are not going to dwell on this
for the whole show.
The whole show. So we're going to do something we've never done. It would be impossible not to talk about it at all. But for several reasons, like I said, we don't want to spend a bunch of time on it. So I have a timer. And once we actually start, I'm going to start the timer. That timer ends, we will go in a different direction.
Yes, absolutely.
So I should probably start.
Yeah, you start. I have something, but I want you to start.
Let me get this timer. All right. So there isn't much that I can say that I haven't said already about this particular thing. And that's kind of weird how that works out, because some of those things actually were not me speaking with anticipation of this happening. I've gotten on here independent of an election cycle and said to y'all that allyship is a farce. I said that. I was not that. The cycle wasn't even in full gear when the first time I came on here and went through that with y'all.
Yeah, actually, it was before that even.
Yeah,
like I think you said that like a couple, like maybe 2 years ago at least.
Right.
At least.
The first time I started being on that was years ago. Then when I gave the full explanation, because it was a theory that I was working on, but once I actually got it, I wish they paid to be a philosopher. Anyway, it was a theory I was working on, and once I finally...
You have to be a philosopher king.
Well, yeah, I'm not. But once I got it to the point where it was like understandable, and shared that on here again, that was still before the election cycle really ramped up.
Right.
It's a farce. It's not conducive, and it's not sustainable. No. That's just simply how the human brain works. So that's that. I got on here during the cycle and said that single issue voting while turning a blind eye to the idea of the lesser of two evils is not going to turn out how y'all think.
Right.
I said that. I came on here and said that. Tim and I wrote an entire song that applies to what's happening. Was I thinking about the election at the time? No.
Just the state of the place.
Just what happens to be occurring. So let me Let me do that real quick. So, y'all don't know what the fuck y'all really talking about. You fall and roll, but your squirming ain't putting no fires out. You cling to a concept because you don't understand that your entire life needs fixing. Thoughts and prayers won't manage that. Broken dreams don't match your reality, how you hope it seems. Broken schemes feed your duality. What a potent means. Broken teams unravel the fabric of the spoken scene. Broken regimes left this experiment with some open seams. I'm gonna skip this one. So just remember when you see me chilling by that ocean breeze, you stay behind to accumulate brass token rings and count the score while your perpetual opponent leads, and sit upon the lap while trying to bite the hand that feeds you poison, because you fed into the lies, the grift, the fever dream. Believers give deceivers all the ammo they could ever need. Naive, and you perceive that you will one day manage to achieve a dream that you cannot conceive, and that is why I chose to leave. So,
prophetic.
I'll use the rest of my time for examples where people had previously been informed thusly, but still decided to fuck around and find out. Now, I'm not here to decipher which of these are true and actually happened, right?
Right.
Because the examples that I'm about to give you are all at least plausible eventualities.
Yes.
So, let's get into it. Then, let me see, bookmarks. A Latino family who voted for Trump speaks out. It was about the economy. The parents came to this country. They got jobs that are not, in the purest form, stereotypical of immigrants. And through that hard work, they were able to buy a house and blah, blah, blah. Now they have kids. And because of what is happening with the economy overall, they had a fear that their kids wouldn't be able to blah, 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 blah. So the father did not vote for Trump. He did not. But the rest of the family did, and all of them are happy that Trump won because, quote, it was about the economy, and Trump's threats of mass deportation didn't matter to them, as they believed it wouldn't affect their undocumented relatives because they aren't criminals. That's not how birthright citizenship works, and that is what they are talking about repealing retroactively.
Yep.
Not just moving forward. There will be no grandfather anyway. A black guy who has a TikTok that is very mega charged said in a video, I was really upset. It was really sad. After the election, so some MAGA people were in my comments and they were saying, you know, thanks for the vote. You will never really be a part of us. That's all we really wanted from you was the vote. And he's on here crying, talking about that made him feel bad and blah, blah, this and blah. Okay. All right. Another person. My MAGA neighbor 5 minutes ago, quote, I just read that tariffs are going to raise prices for stuff. I don't get it. I thought China was going to pay them. End quote. Another one. My white neighbor, a Trump supporter, just called ICE on my Mexican neighbors who are also Trump supporters. And they're crying in the driveway getting deported. Now, again, out of all of these, I'm pretty sure this one is the least likely to have happened that way.
Yes.
But again, it is a plausible eventuality. Let me see.
By the way, Trump hasn't even taken power yet.
Right. Yeah. So, like I said, all the ones Well, actually, I think that might be the only one that I have like this because I wasn't saving the other ones. But all the ones that are talking about some type of policy that Trump enacted since election, yeah, get the fuck out of here.
The only thing you can say is that people in their zeal who voted for Trump are now being more zealous. They're more activated and participating in a process of literally calling on people.
And most of these have the two elements, either that, where the Trump supporters are now emboldened, or somebody that these people know and trust explained something to them that they didn't understand before the election. Next one. Latino MAGA Trump supporter gets on TikTok and is crying about other people who supported Trump not allowing his kids to play with their kids.
I saw that.
Yeah. Another one. This is from an American woman. She says, my husband works for a small manufacturing company. And here in Southwestern PA, that means most employees are Trump voters. When the president of the company sat them down today to tell them that their annual Christmas bonus would not come this year because they now need to purchase at least a year's worth of products prior to January 21st due to the proposed tariffs, they did not understand. My husband said that their president had to explain to them what a tariff is and how it would directly hurt their company. They all thought the foreign company paid the tariff. This is a level of ignorance voting against their own interests here in PA, where we failed American women and children. Yeah. So another one. Someone was being pro-Trump at work. I told them, do you know that your position is being paid for by sped dollars, which will go away if he gets rid of the DOE? They were dumbfounded. And this last one is not exactly that. This last one is there's been an unprecedented, I almost want to say awakening, where the sentiment is effectively, all right, bet. Get somebody else to do it.
Yeah.
And I love it. The problem, though, is let's not be performative.
Right.
There's a person that I follow who is on the extreme end of right, not as in left and right, but correct, like the morally good thing to do. But because she's on the side of right, I rock with it because I know it's a black woman, so in this society, you ain't got but much power. So it's not like I think people are actually being like hurt by the stuff that she said or anything like that. And like I said, she's on the side that I feel is morally correct. So I still follow her. Like, so there are certain things that she says, just like anybody that I follow and that you are going to follow, that I don't agree with, sure.
Exactly.
But for the most part, she be on the shit that I be on. But now, she's edited this since I saved it, so maybe it won't be as bad as maybe it won't be bad as I thought. She says, I talked to a friend who was a black male Trump supporter. Now, this next sentence is very important. He is the only person I didn't unfriend yesterday. Wow. Now, he is extremely religious, and when it came to the topic of abortion, he said that if a woman gets raped, she should carry the baby. I said, so a woman should bear the responsibility of a man's evil? And he disagreed that's what he meant, but couldn't provide a better meaning. We talked about God being omnipresent, but he couldn't answer for his absence during slavery. Somehow he thinks that a rapist and racist who does not identify as a Christian is somehow ordained by God because of abortion laws. He also didn't understand the concept of sexism, but was stern about men being leaders. Religion has really blinded and held so many of us captive, so many. Now, she added clarity, apparently. Let me add more info. Friend, not like bestie. Friend, like same artistic community, whom I talked to for the first time in a couple of years because I saw something he posted and I was genuinely worried about his well-being.
It must have been.
But the question I asked was,
oh yeah, I saw that.
So this back and forth led to you no longer being friends, right? Because consistent with your rhetoric, that should have been the end of that tweet.
Yeah, it should have been over.
The end of that tweet should have been I excommunicated.
Right.
We are no longer on speaking to. That's right. She never responded, obviously. Now, again, I'm not accusing her. I'm just saying, let's not be performative.
And yeah, you're right.
Let's not be performative.
I hate it. I don't like it.
If you're going to go the extra measure, because you are extreme in a lot that you say, and like I said, because you're a Black woman in America, you don't have the power to do some of these things. But this is the thing you have the power to do.
Yeah. And also the people, the most powerless, more powerless people, that since they can't do anything else, you have to begrudge them the right to say some shit. Like, they can't do anything else. Like,
exactly. All right, so I see my time.
All righty then. First, let me begin by thanking President-elect Donald Trump for his service to my community and to the majority of Latino men, majority of white women, white men, and the 20 or so % of Black men who showed their support. Thank you all for playing your part. Your part in pushing forward something I've been trying unsuccessfully to get more of my community to feel for years.
Mm-hmm.
It's a strange and unsettling thing, really, to hear members of my community call this place home. I mean, when you look at how we arrived, what was done to us once we were here, and what many people here have always thought of us, well, let's just say that the conditioning ran deep.
Right.
We were the only group brought here against our will, dehumanized, demonized, murdered, restricted, stripped of culture, and then told it was somehow our own fault, or worse yet, ordained by some higher power.
Mm-hmm.
We were pushed and prodded and brainwashed to separate ourselves from the rest of the Black diaspora, while they were being told that we weren't really a part of them. So much so that they started referring to us as the lost tribe.
Mm-hmm.
I understand what really happened here and just how devastating the impact was on my community. And if you're curious, go look up the Kerner Commission put together by Lyndon Baines Johnson and the resulting paper they put out on what was happening in our communities, who was at fault, and what was causing a lot of the turmoil that to this day is still happening, if you need to add context. But because I see it clearly, I've never really felt at home here. Never. Even as a kid, there was this uneasy feeling about my place here. Like I was in someone else's house, looking at their family pictures and hearing their family stories. I didn't have words for it until my mid-20s. But once I did, I accepted certain truths about this place and about the condition of my community. But for most Black people, this was not the case. Despite all the shit we was put through, my community was embarrassingly patriotic, almost to a fault. And you know, the press loves to focus in on the radical ones in the Black community, but truthfully speaking, they make up a very small percentage of us. So most of them bought into the promises.
Right.
Like we told each other things like, if we just put on a suit and speak proper, work hard, avoid conflict, fight their wars, claim their enemies as ours, wave the flag, and remain respectable, they will eventually accept us with open arms. The truth is, this place will only accept you under certain conditions.
Mm-hmm.
Conditions that strip you of your identity, seeking to transform us into some funhouse mirror of the dominant demographic. So we got played. Motherfuckers went out there and did what they thought they wanted to do. It's not that they that they loved Harris. It's nothing to do with that. Nothing. They were voting against what they feel Trump represents. Let me tell you something. I didn't see this fire, this rage out there during the times of Trayvon Martin.
Right.
Or even George Floyd.
Right.
The anger out there now, that's the kind of anger that only comes from realizing you've been wasting your time. That they've been wasting your time. Our contributions to this place have meant nothing. Pick any endeavor. They could care less. At any moment, they're ready to dismiss us as nothing more than nuisances, as apes. I don't know why they think that's a bad thing. All of us are apes. Whatever. Or as people they'd rather not have to deal with. And for most of my community, that's a bitter pill to swallow. But to me, it's the best possible outcome. Because more of us are starting to see things the way I do. And I know what we're capable of when we're properly motivated. All over the internet, I'm seeing more and more of my folks seriously considering going somewhere else. Not chasing perfection, just looking for a place where the weight of this history isn't so oppressive, where the demographics might favor us, somewhere that finally feels like home. Because that's the heart of it, isn't it? And we spend centuries trying to make ourselves feel comfortable around, make others feel comfortable around us, as though it's our duty to correct their misinformed views, as though it's our role to protect a place that has never committed to truly protecting us, a place that has resisted Black liberation at every turn, that won't even acknowledge the crimes it's committed against us, and that never misses an opportunity to show us exactly who they are and what they think of us. But all right, I hate that this had to be the event that got us here, but all right, I'll take this new awareness, this shift in sentiment that more of us are finally feeling, and I'll run with it. For those like me who are fed up, who want out of this toxic cycle, I will share with other resources I find with you to help you figure out what the best options out there are. But we have to be on code, because that not on code shit has probably cost us all of the things our grandparents bled, sweat, and died for. And clearly, there's at least 27% of us who aren't on code. They knew the stakes and didn't choose us. Cool. Stay right where you are and don't be a pussy. Speak clearly and loudly with your support and your allegiances like an adult. Don't hide. Let us see you. You'll be fine. You don't need us. You have them. Shoo. Scamper off to your new lives. I'm sure they'll treat you with all the fairness that past and recent history has shown us. And lastly, let me make one thing clear. Never, ever, as long as your asshole points down, refer to me as a person of color again. Not in writing, not in conversation, and certainly not to my face, because it won't go well for you. I am a Black man of African descent, full stop. My home is wherever else I settle and will not be dictated by where I was born. Something I had absolutely no choice or control over. But I will follow the law in all cases. And I will not allow anyone to break the law around me, even immigration law. And another added piece of advice for my community, stop arguing with the 27%.
Yeah.
They are gone. And even if they weren't, we don't have time now for that shit. Yeah. There's a bunch of work we have to do. And I know we've done a bunch of work before, but I'm here to say
this is different work.
Yeah, that was wasted energy and a fruitless endeavor. And by the way, shout out to Jewish Americans. 79% of you voted against what Trump represented. 54% of Asians voted against what Trump represented, but it's down by 5 from last time. But whatever. And yeah, that's really all I have to say on this topic.
Well, the one thing, dang, you just brought it up. I'm trying to remember. The 20%.
I'm part Irish, Biddy. Small percentage. Yeah,
the 20% or so. All right, so two things can be true.
Mm-hmm.
What I will not go so far as to say,
mm-hmm.
and this is probably my bias speaking,
I
will not go so far as to say that you owe black men an apology.
No, I wouldn't say that.
I won't go so far as to say that.
Right.
What I will say is,
say it.
Anyone who is still blaming black men for this happening, you're an idiot. Not only are you an idiot, but you are fact averse.
The numbers are right there, bro.
Video of some woman talking about how this was black men's fault and men specifically and blah blah blah. Men, sure. Men in general, absolutely.
Yes.
Black men specifically, hold your horses.
Calm down. 80%.
And she was expressing how her brother's friend did such and such. That means that your brother and your brother's friend are shitty people.
Yeah.
That's what that means. That doesn't mean black men helped this happen. That's not.
That means
those aren't the same thing.
COONs. They ain't got nothing
right.
to do with the rest of us.
You need to check your circle.
Yeah.
This isn't a worldwide thing. This is what happened is, how can I say this? The MAGA side had more exposure, and you were seeing a lot of what you may consider high profile black men.
Yes.
And I don't necessarily mean celebrities. I'm talking about just as far as exposure is concerned.
Right.
That we're talking that Trump shit, but that's not really reflective of the reality. Clearly,
well, the numbers clearly state that black men did exactly what they do every other time.
Yeah.
Now, we do have internal stuff we need to talk about why women, they're in the 90s.
Right.
That's at the 80s. But when you look at the charts, the two people at the top, the two groups at the top, black men, black women, Jewish Americans.
Yeah. And then it starts to fall off.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we're not accepting that over here. Like I said, the whole apology thing, I'm not going that far, but that's because of my bias. We be all right. We don't need that. Like, I don't. Yeah.
Also, when Barack said, that's the other thing. When Barack said what he said, I didn't think he was talking to me.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
no, I didn't
think he was talking to me. Like, but I knew who he was talking about.
Oh, thanks.
So that's why I didn't. But it's cool. All that's water under the bridge.
Yeah.
Like SPJ said, you don't need to be performative about this shit.
No.
Just do what you said you was going to do and stop doing what you said you was going to stop doing. That's it. That's it. I expect a lot of hyperbole now, and that because it's still fresh, but I feel like we don't have the time to waste on it. You as an individual don't have the time to waste on it because you spent your whole life not expecting the fact that you would probably leave this place, and now you're thinking about leaving it. You got a lot of work to do. You don't have time to be focused on that shit. You got to figure out how you're going to live somewhere else. You got to figure out what that process looks like. Like I said, as long as you want cold, I'm with it. But I'm not arguing with the 27%. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing it. They did what they did. All right. Thank you. I just want you to be loud about it. Don't be a pussy. Be loud about it. Don't try to hide among us and act like you was. And I saw a video where somebody did that. With a guy who walked all through the neighborhood talking about, definitely going there, had his little camera, went in the booth and went Trump, all the way down. Yeah. That shit is only done, to quote my sister, his significant other, Chrissy, because you still want support.
Yeah.
You still want the support of the community, even though you voted against the community's interest. You don't want to be ostracized. You don't want to be left out. And I'm saying to all my folks, don't ostracize them in that way. Publicly, like wanting to beat their ass. No, don't do none of that. Just doing nothing. Just let them go and do what they're gonna do. Like that's their shit. Let them have it. Let them have it. Let the baby have his bottle.
I mean, and here's the thing. Wait a minute. I'm sorry. I just saw something that caught my eye.
Mhm.
Let's see. Oh, I see what's happening. All right. It's a slideshow. Okay, I guess we can read the slideshow. All right. Just. Oh wait, are they each articles? They are each articles. Oh. Oh no, they're not. Okay. Wait, is it just not loading right? Because it seems like there should be more. No, it's just okay. They're each slideshows, not each.
Oh,
okay. Okay, yeah, that's annoying, but all right, I'm just gonna go through this list. Now that Trump's returning to the White House, here's another. Oh, matter of fact, I'm sorry. The timer has not gone off, but it's 1 minute. That was perfect. 1 minute. That was perfect. All right, so let me go ahead and sure. All right, now this is related, but it's not. The point that I was making with the 30 minutes was our raw reaction and emotion about said thing. I'm about to read this article that is absolutely related, but this isn't. Yeah, this
right
thing. All right, so now that Trump's returning to the White House, here's another reminder that Black folks should be terrified of Project 2025. And here are some reasons. Firing thousands of government employees. The Biden-Harris administration has the most diverse staff in this country. Oh, you know what? Fuck that. Bernie. You're wrong. You're wrong. And there are people that see what you said, and they're like, yeah, Bernie said it. According to data and statistics, President Biden was one of the most workforce friendly presidents in the longest time
in modern history.
So the idea that the Democrats have turned their back on the working man and that's why they lost. No. Also the idea that this was purely a result of the Democrats not campaigning correctly. No. Is there some of that needs to change? Absolutely. We've been talking about that for years.
Yes.
But they actually corrected a lot of those issues with this campaign. It is a simple situation of people being stupid. And that's not even me trying to be pejorative. It is, people being ignorant. I'll use the proper term. People being ignorant. You heard some of those stories. Like legitimately, because I work for a small company and I am in a small company, you're closer to the top than in a large company, regardless of what your position is, because the company is a small company. So I'm privy to how business owners and companies, like I said, I happen to work in a small company in a large industry. So yeah, I'm privy to how some of that shit works and how they think about this shit. And it is absolutely plausible to the point that I believe that particular story about the bosses telling their workers, hey, y'all not getting a bonus this year because we
they anticipate.
Yes,
before
that's how business works.
Like, because if they didn't, they'd be caught with their pants down, and they're gonna do what they got to do to stay in business. That means the first thing, the highest expense they have is manpower. That's the highest expense they have. So, I agree with you. I think a lot of the think pieces, something Jon Stewart said, which I completely agree with. Right after the election, he was like, what you're going to see from a lot of these political pundits is takes that they're completely wrong about. And we find out later a lot of times that they're wrong. And he starts showing clips of things that on both sides that they said after a loss or whatever. And turned out their prescription for it was 100% wrong because they found themselves in the same place again or whatever. Now, what I will say about the Dems, ever since Bill Clinton, the Dems started moving further right. Yeah. Because one of Bill Clinton's favorite tactics that worked for him so well, co-opt Republican talking points and issues and act like you thought that way all along. And then they can't hit you with it. And then enact some of it. He did that. That worked. He had a successful 2 terms. Mm-hmm. And because of that, a lot of Dems took that tactic and ran with it. And we saw that happening during this campaign. But what I would submit to you is this. Typically, the modern campaign takes a year and a half. They threw her in there with 3 months or so to go. Mm-hmm. Like, in truth, I don't believe there's anything she would have been able to do, regardless of what she did, to win simply because certain things were baked in the cake. Certain ideas had already fostered and incubated in the minds of a lot of people. And some of those were, I'm not voting for anybody because I don't like this. I don't like that. I'm not voting for anybody. I don't like him. I don't like her. So I'm just going to sit home. Some of that shit was baked the fuck in. Also, to keep it real with you, when Trump was going on those different podcasts, he was hitting the young male demographic. Joe Rogan. He went on Aiden Ross's podcast. He was hitting that. So when you have these ideas, also Trump never went away. I keep telling motherfuckers that 4 years he was still out there making news, still saying his shit was baked in the cake. She comes along, they throw her in, the way they threw her in, and I'm hearing some things about that too. That was not what they intended to do. Biden's last fuck you, because they forced them out. Would say her. It's gonna be her. Well, because according to what's being said about Pelosi, she wanted an actual primary, and she didn't want him to run anyway. And who she wanted? Gavin Newsom. But she wanted a primary so that whoever came up out of it would have been stronger by then. The people would have known who they were, what their positions was, all this other shit. And instead of throwing somebody in there cold. That's at least what the leaks and the rumors are. And I kind of believe them, because one of the reasons that politicians leak things is because when something shits the bed, they don't want responsibility for it if they said things previously, even behind the scenes, that could have prevented it and it wasn't listened to. They don't want that stink on them, right? So I kind of believe the leaks. I believe Biden said, fuck you. Oh, okay. Oh, y'all forced me up? All right, fine. And they say he announced it to the public before they had decided what they were going to do. All right? That was his final fuck you. Now, just turns out it wasn't just a fuck you to them. It was a fuck you to all the rest of us too. But that's all right. That's fine. Because I've never had a president. I've never had a president. That's what y'all do. Y'all had presidents. I don't have presidents. I have a president okay, let's take that back. I have a president as much as I have a postal guy that comes and drops my shit off. I long since divorced myself from this ownership of these motherfuckers.
Yeah, the point that, let me explain for a layman. The point that Tim is making is, though, that's my president, he doesn't subscribe to that.
No.
Neither do I, because again, they're public servants.
Yeah.
That are supposed to serve the public. It's in the name.
It's kind of in the name.
It's in the name. All right. So I actually lined up some stuff last week that we didn't get to. Not nothing special or anything like that.
Right.
It's just literally because of time we didn't, because we had a fucking conversation. What the fuck? What was that random conversation that popped off at the end of the show?
No, but it was dope though.
It was random ass conversation.
It was random shit.
Oh, about traffic and shit.
Oh yeah. It was funny.
So that I can get to the things that I tried to get to last week, let's slide into the week in review.
Yes. So plumbing issues.
Oh God. What, the election?
No.
Oh. Because that shit went down the drain.
Yeah, down the toilet. The shitter. The Thomas Crapper. So, as I've said to you guys previously, we have had a myriad of problems since we've been living here. Mm-hmm. Mostly because the landlord is cheap. He wants to get cousin such and such to come in and fix it instead of getting somebody who actually knows what they're doing and can get it done in one take, rather than the several, oops, I forgot, oopsie, I didn't see, oops, yeah, you don't have the experience to see. He even once brought a family member over here that could not speak or hear. Yeah, like that. So the leak we had in the second kitchen is right above the sink. But when you look at the ceiling, you see that there are obviously leaking happening other places because the panels have that that wet spot right there with the, So just so happens that finally they sent in the HVAC dude who was supposed to do an inspection of the HVAC. It's usually the same guy. It's a decent brother, very forthright, very detailed, very competent. It was he that discovered where the original leak was in the first place. That was months and months and months and months ago. And they were supposed to do something about it, and they did not. So when he came over again and said, yo, they ain't did nothing about this shit. I put it in, did they? I said, no, they haven't. He gets on the phone, and he starts calling people, places, things.
Oh, okay. All right.
And eventually, it got back around to not the landlord, but to one of his sons, who said he was taking over the responsibility from his father, who was he's an old dude, right? Old, annoying dude. So they are saying, yeah, we're going to send the plumber over there to blah, 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 blah. So I forget which date it was. I have it in my calendar. But forgive me if I'm not all that confident that they will come here on that day. And if they do not come here on that day, I will show my ass in a way that has never been seen. Because this makes no sense. Rent is paid every month, on time, all the time, for years, the same way we did at the last two places we lived.
Mm-hmm.
That's how we get down. Even if our credit ain't always looking great, the one thing we have is a record of paying rent on time.
Right.
So I expect results. I expect some attention. It's not like you have a bunch of houses that you have to worry about. No. So you can afford to spend the adequate amount of time, the appropriate amount of time, focused on this to get this right so you don't have to worry about it again for a while.
Right.
Part of the deal was your monkey ass, make sure you stay on top of all of the vital things that we need in the house. And the way you do that is by sending people to inspect them, especially stuff that got recently fixed or new shit that came up in here. You send somebody to routinely come around inspecting. As much as y'all know, I hate for people to be in my house. For that, to avoid the other shit, I'm totally with it. And now what it looks like what might happen, seeing the amount of leaky little spots on the paneling of the ceiling, now it looks like it's going to be a bigger job than it had to be.
Thanks.
Which means you're going to be over here longer. Which means I got to endure having a motherfucker in my house.
Indeed.
That bothers me.
I mean,
it bothers me.
I feel you.
It just does. The other thing, I am extremely pissed. Why, you might ask?
I mean, life.
Well,
You tend to.
Sure. Yeah.
You tend to be pissed.
Yeah, most of the time. Like, yeah. Because December will be here in no time.
It will.
Last December, around that same time, I was in Panama for a week.
You were.
What I wanted to do this year was go again, but not that same week. I wanted to go a couple of weeks after that week, so I'd be there in time for all the Christmas celebrations and festivals and shit that they had going on down there. As is, last time, we was down there a bit early, and they was setting up, but we wasn't going to be able to be down there when the shit kicked off. And I actually want to be, I'm an introvert, but that I want to experience.
Right.
Even if I'm only out there like an hour or 2 hours or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, that I want to experience. I want to eat. I want to eat the food, festival food. I want to listen to the music they got going on over there. I want to watch the fireworks go off. I want them to do the whole Feliz Navidad shit, all of that. I want to experience it, right? That will not be taking place this year. And I'm pissed.
Yeah. That's the thing.
It's a whole thing. But it just wasn't doable. It just wasn't doable. And the other thing about it is, it's not like it's even an expensive trip. It's really not. It's really, really not an expensive trip. The last time we paid, $300 for a week at the condo we stayed, that was $300 for a whole week. The money we saved. The money we saved. And just saying, of course, the plane tickets, of course, they're going to cost.
Yeah.
Round trip, of course, it's going to cost, right? But still, even with that, we came home with money. Still with money, right? So it was awesome. I want to go down there again. And I will next year. I will. It might not be around Christmas time. It might be maybe during the summer even. Who knows? It depends on what business is like. It depends on what we got going on, because next year is going to be chock full of a bunch of shit from the business standpoint. Whole bunch of things, including the release of some titles that are from other writers on Majestic. That's in the works too. So, because I want to make sure y'all get your shit out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, overall, that was my week.
Okay. I got a lot.
I know you do.
It's been a long time since I just had a lot.
It's been a long time.
And I got a lot. So, first of all, I want to say shout out to the stream because, y'all, the people listening as well, but I mean literally the actual stream, because we running at 60 frames per second consistently. That's what they say to me.
That's fun.
We're running at 60 frames per second consistently, no drops. So yeah, just this compared to what we used to do.
Facts.
Nigga.
That's
so just shout out to the stream for that. So recent events made me feel like I may need more money sooner than I previously anticipated. We won't talk about those events. Wink, wink.
That's odd. That's odd.
So, a couple of things that happened. One as a direct result, and I won't say direct. One as more of a direct result of recent events, and one just in general. So, insurance. I don't know. I may have mentioned it in passing that I added Chrissy to my car insurance.
I think you did mention that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I mentioned it. So I don't think I went into detail about the conversation. Like, I think I've just talked about how the customer service was, but I don't think I went into detail with the issue that I immediately figured would be the case when I was on the phone with that goddamn company. So it was that they gave us a price on what the total policy would cost, because it's 3 people, 3 cars. They gave us a price, and I just knew that was wrong. I knew that price could not possibly be right.
Right.
So I said to her, this is including everything? This is with adding a new vehicle and with the address change?
And she assured you.
Yeah.
She said,
this is after all of that.
She said, you motherfucking right.
Right. So, like 2 or so weeks after I submitted the change, I got the new declarations page, which gives you your policy and what cars and where cars and what drivers and price. And I'm like, I know it. This is not the price.
Right.
That I know it. And that's what I told Chrissy when that happened, because she was happy, and I was like, hold your slow roll. It's likely not going to be this low.
Are you saying that today's price is not yesterday's price?
I mean, kind of. That's actually true in more ways than one. But I was like, yeah, so this price, consider this a bonus.
Right.
The price is going to be closer to such and such.
Right.
So turns out the price was closer to such and such. And I'm like, all right, I'm not that mad because I anticipated. It's not like I planned my life out based on spending this amount of money for the next 6 months.
Right.
So I was like, all right, cool. So I happened to look back in there and look at the most recent declarations page. And the most recent declaration, I'm sorry. The first thing that happened is my mother sent me a picture of a letter from the insurance company. Well, I didn't know what was in it, but of mail from the insurance company. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, that's odd because my address should have been updated.
Yeah.
Why did this mail go to my mother's house? So then a little while later, I looked at the declaration page and realized that, so for those who don't know, there are 2 different addresses, at least with my particular insurance company, that they acknowledge. Right. One is a mailing address and the other is a garaging address, aka where the car has actually sat when it's still most of the time. So I noticed that the garaging address was still my old address. So y'all didn't make the fucking changes that y'all were supposed to make. So given what the lady told me when I was on the phone with her, that made me believe that if I get this corrected, my insurance will go down. Because the price that she told me was a lot cheaper than the price that I'm paying now. Again, that's not ridiculous. It's not a ridiculous price at all that we're currently paying. It's not. It's just that I was told it was going to be cheaper than that.
Also, it don't need to be a ridiculous price. It's more.
Yes, exactly.
Listen, if something costs me $300, I go, all right, sucks, but all right.
Right.
Then you tack on 50 cents. I'm mad.
Nigga.
Man.
All facts.
300.
Because fuck that. Anyway, yes, 100%. So when I saw that, I was at work. I was on my way to one of the jobs. So I'm like, I do not have time to sit on the phone with them. And I noticed they had the chat feature. I'm like, all right, cool, bet. I'm going to use the chat. But these motherfucking companies have made their chat feature just as bad as the call, because the original thing that you chat with is a fucking AI chatbot.
And they're not.
So they can't, and it's not actually, it might not even be AI, to be honest, because
it's probably one of the old
can't respond to anything.
Yeah, that's not the same.
It can only respond to certain canned things.
Yeah, that's not the same. That's not the same.
So I said to it, like, hey, I was told this was going to happen. It has not reflected that way. And it's like, did you ask about this? No, it's not the fuck I asked you. You're not being helpful. And then it was like, oh, okay, maybe you need to speak to a chat with a live representative. Why the fuck wasn't that the first? Anyway, so.
But you know what, though? Honestly, bro, think I know why they're still using those old ones. I think they still use the old ones because they can control those.
Sure.
Like, yes, these new chat bots are amazing, but they will hallucinate.
No, here's the thing. My argument isn't using AI chat bot. My argument is when I click on chat, connect me to a fucking person immediately.
Yeah, that's right.
Like immediately. I don't need to go through something else. Clearly, basically what you're doing is insulting my intelligence because you're saying to me that I'm not capable of searching your website and finding a thing. Because that's basically the results that the fucking chatbot gives you. It gives you the 10 results of what's like, oh, this is what your policy is. I could have looked at my fucking policy without contacting you.
Yeah, you was
like, what are you talking? So anyway, I get to the live person, and I'm like, hey, so I was told that my address was updated, and it in fact is not because I got mail at an old address. And my cars are still listed as being at an old address on the latest declaration page that I got. So she's like, okay, let me look into it. She says, okay, your mailing address had been updated or something like that. And I'm like, that's not true. I'm sorry. When I first said it, I didn't mention the proof that I had to show that my mailing address hadn't been updated. Right. I just said it hadn't been updated. So she's like, it has been updated. I said, that's not true because I just got mail at a location. That is not my new address. How do you explain that? She's like, okay, give me a minute.
She was like, maybe you put the wrong address on there. You ever think about that?
Right. She comes back and she's like, okay, I've updated your mailing address now. And the thing that was being sent to your old address was we need confirmation that the vehicles stay at the address you say they stay at. So basically what you're saying is, I called to make 2 changes. You said that you made those 2 changes.
Right.
Then a week or so later, you realized that you needed more information for me to make one of those changes. But since you didn't make the change that you didn't need more information for, you couldn't get that information to me. You couldn't just email me, first of all. You couldn't just email. But anyway, so I'm like, all right, cool. And she was like, wait, let me try to update the garaging address on my end and see if I can do that without you having to, wait or anything. I'm like, all right, good. Came back. She's like, no, I can't do it. You have to send us proof of such and such, and these are acceptable things that we take as proof. Why the fuck won't this is not me being mad because it doesn't make sense. This is me saying it doesn't make sense to me. Like, it could be valid. I just don't get why this makes sense. So I can't use my fucking license and my change of address card because it happened because my license was issued more than 60 days ago. Mind you, in Maryland, when you update your address, you do not get a new license. They just give you the change of address.
Yeah.
So how the fuck would I give you a license that was issued within 60 days unless my license happened to expire within the past 60 days? If I'm moving to another location, anyway. So like that doesn't make sense. I don't understand why you would have that as a requirement. That doesn't make sense. It's an official document that all types of companies, including banking companies, use as proof of who you are, and do not have a time requirement as long as they aren't expired.
Right.
So I don't understand why for an insurance. But anyway, so one of the things that they did accept was a pay stub with all your info on it. So I'm like, oh, okay, cool, I can do that. So I sent them that. They're like, all right, it'll be reviewed within 21 days. 21 days? I'm emailing you this information, which means you'll get it instantly. I know y'all a big company, but 21 days seems a bit excessive. And she's like, well,
we have a lot of people.
Takes up to 21 days. I'm like, all right, cool. So I got the update like 3 days ago. Nigga. I'm even more upset at that original lady mail because the insurance went up a little bit.
Oh,
but it went up. And I'm like, so what the fuck was she talking about?
I don't know.
So, in the near future, but much closer to the first of the month, I'm going to be looking for an insurance company. Because listen, this is the thing that people don't.
They played in your face. This is
the thing that people don't do that you have every right to and you are entitled to. Do not listen to them when they talk about loyalty.
You know, I'm glad
at any point,
that, bro.
At any point, you can change your insurance company. At any point.
I'm so glad you said that because there has been a concerted effort, right, for motherfuckers to try to play you out on some old loyalty stuff to a business or a company. Listen,
right.
If you don't know the owner of that personally, where I could see that it's more than just consumer product or service relationship, you don't owe them shit. And that's why I was mad, man, when I saw people running around this motherfucker talking about cancel culture. Yo, it's always been a thing where customers can make any decision they want on your product and service.
Absolutely.
If they feel like, for whatever reason, they don't want to support your shit, they don't have to. That's always been the case. Always.
All facts. That's because that's how that's supposed to work.
That's how
free market works. Like that's the point of free market. Anyway,
I hate it here.
Betty, yes, I do play keyboard. Not as much as I used to, but yes, I do play keyboard. Joe, what's up?
What up, Joe?
Discord, what's up?
Discord.
So yes, I'll be. It is imperative almost that every time that your insurance goes over, like every time you end your term, that you look around. I just didn't this time because of what everything else that was changing and all of that.
Right,
I just didn't feel like going through all the hassle. But now that this has happened, within the next 2 weeks or so, absolutely, I'm going to be
talking that dumbass loyalty shit.
What you talking about? You got? I got this right here. What you got? Oh, all right. We're coming over here.
I don't want to hear none
That's
of that dumbass. The loyalty, man. Loyalty's
actually
nuts.
It behooves you every time. Like I said, it behooves you every time that your term expires for you to look around. It behooves you. Now they claim a loyalty benefit discount.
Bite me.
I don't know if that's true or not.
Just
right?
Bite me.
Because I've been with them for so long. I have no idea if that's true.
You could still bite me though. Like bite me. SMD. Like
I will absolutely go with another insurance company for the next 6 months. And when that's almost over, I will absolutely look back at y'all like, hey, what y'all got?
Yeah.
Because what are you talking about? So I'm about to look to see if I can get some change. So speaking of getting something to change.
Well, maybe do something strange for some change.
But I mean, listen, depending on how strange they want me to get. If all I gotta do is this.
Right. Like right.
Then, all right, then. All right. Then I got you.
That was a bar.
So the other thing, as far as this whole needing more money sooner than I previously anticipated, is I had 2 bills.
I'm just gonna say this. I'm gonna say this again. That's odd. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, I mean, hey. So I had these 2 bills that totaled like $557 or some shit like that. Right? So I have what's it called? Rocket Money. I'm signed up to them, and they basically look at your finances and tell you like you have this bill coming up in this many days, or you have this much money left in your bank account, or hey, you're paying this much for this. Here's how you can make that lower, blah, blah, this, blah. So like they do all that type shit. So I got a notification. There's a rumor going around. Tell me, is it true, my friend? Anyway, I got a notification, and it was like, you've paid such and such and such in, I don't remember what the amount was, in interest this year. Find out how you can pay less. all right.
Don't
Now,
say less.
So one of those two bills, this is independent of the Rocket thing. One of those two, actually both of those bills.
Right.
Every time I pay my bill, they give me, you can make this lower by such and such and such.
Yeah.
And I go look every now and then, and it's like, oh no, we're not talking about you. All right, bet. So,
I had a recent experience that was very similar to what you just said.
So funny enough, this time, the larger of the two bills, I looked at it and it was like, yeah, you. And I'm like, oh, me? Okay. So one of the options involved leveraging that bill into something else. And I was down. I was going to do it.
Right.
But it was asking me for the account number of my current account. And when I put it in, it kept telling me that's not valid. So I was like, all right, well, fuck y'all. I'm not going through this. I'm not about to get on the phone and call. I'm not doing all that shit.
Right.
So I happened to look back at the Rocket Money joint. And it was like, hey, we can give you this for you to take care of that. And it'll change that bill from like $557 to like $380.
That's not bad.
I absolutely jumped on that shit.
Yeah.
So that actually,
what's the name of this thing? What's the name of this thing again?
Rocket Money. I think. Let me get you the actual. Yep, Rocket Money.
Rocket Money.
Rocket Money.
About the
and funny and I did that yesterday morning, and basically it was this. So it does a bunch of different things. This particular thing that I'm talking about was loan consolidation type thing. I got the money that day.
Wow. So wait a minute.
So
they have pricing on this, right?
All right. So the one I do is $4. I don't know if there's more different versions of it, but yeah, it's a money management tool. So
this shit is fire.
Yeah, it's like $4 or some shit like that. $4 a month. Because when I first got it, I was like, because I think it lets you do a free trial. And it's one of those things that I actually, when I got through the free trial, I was like, yeah, okay, all right, we can. It's helped. Since I've gotten it, I've lowered my Comcast bill. I've lowered, I think, my BGE. And now I just did this. So yeah, no, it's been worth it. And like I said, it gives you these different alerts and all that other type of stuff. Because everybody, like, people have different bank accounts. Like,
right.
Especially with the whole combining my life with another human being. I now have like 4 different accounts at 4 different banks. So instead of me having to sign into each individual, I could just go to the Rocket Money. It has all of the bank accounts. It has everything that's going on. It recognizes payments that you make. So like it knows for instance, it knows the Udio bill.
Right.
It knows the day. Okay, this is such and such. It knows such and such. Matter of fact, it sent me when my insurance came out. It was like, hey, you paid such and such this month in insurance. That's higher than you used to pay here. But the reason it's higher at that time was because I added Chrissy.
So it didn't say, hey, you paid this such and such for this bill, which is higher than you paid last time. What's up with that?
I mean, effectively, that's effectively what it did. So I haven't gone into that yet because, like I said, it's no point in me doing it right now because if I might be remembering this incorrectly, but if I remember correctly, once you do pay, because insurance you pay ahead of time. Yeah, so once you change insurance companies, you have to pay them. So that's why I'm waiting until the first because that's when my insurance would be due.
Right.
So I haven't looked at that part yet. But yeah, when it was like, yeah, give me you have paid a lot of interest, blah blah this, blah blah that. How about you do this? And I'm like, all right, boom, 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 boom. And it's like, all right, we'll let you know. And then like 10 minutes later, hey, Yeah, you got it. Oh, okay. Yeah, it'll be there within 1 to 3 business days. It's Friday, so I'm thinking, all right, like Tuesday. Right. No, by the end of the day, Rocket Money hit me like, hey, you have a large,
so you have a rather large bill.
I immediately got rid of those other 2 bills.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you. I don't blame you.
So I'm already, so it's a continuation of what was that 2-3 years ago when I started the whole credit journey. So, and the funny thing about that Discord is Discord say you can pay less by paying more. That is somehow how some people, some like the ones that come from loan companies, they will absolutely do that.
They will hit you. Yeah, they will hit you.
And it's like, like one of the lower one of the 2 was like, you have a special discount on your interest rate if you get a new loan. If I get a new loan from you, it would only be to pay your loan off and make my payment lower.
Facts.
I'm not doing anything else. I don't need a loan. So no, I'm not fucking doing that. But anyway,
get out of my face.
Yeah, I went from 557 to 380. So
shit.
That's love.
Yeah.
That's helpful.
It is. I ain't gonna lie. Like,
yeah. So what else? So work. Nigga.
It must have been ass.
A bunch of stuff from work this week.
Yikes.
So, the only thing worse than people you don't really have a relationship with wanting to run their mouth to you at work.
You can't punch them in the face? Oh.
No. That's one of the things that makes it bad. But the only thing worse than that is dumb people you don't have a relationship.
Oh my goodness. They all in your face.
Oh my God. Leave me the fuck alone. So she called me to tell me about an issue. I told her I would be out that day. I go out there. I see the issue. The issue is already a particular annoying one because it's not going to be easy to fix. I know exactly what the issue. Well, no, I'm like 90% certain on what the issue is, and with that certainty, I'm like, all right, this is going to take a while, right? And I'm like, all right, I already annoyed at that. So she comes up to me, James, what seems to be the problem? I said, it looks like your internet's down. She said, can you fix it? I said, I'm not sure yet. I just started working on it. She said, oh, okay. Are you voting tomorrow? This is Monday. I said, no, I've already voted. I have no desire to be.
Because I'm a responsible adult. And
listen, I have no desire to be in all that mess.
Facts.
Nah. She says, oh, I'm going after work. I say, cool. Now, let's stop. To that point, outside of just the fact that you came and bothered me, nothing was wrong with that conversation.
Yes.
Yeah, to that point, nothing was wrong with that conversation. Except for the fact, like I said, that I hate small talk and even more with people that I don't have rapport with.
That's fine.
But I'm not mad at anybody for that, especially with it being about voting. As much as I hate small talk and politics, I'm of the opinion that it does not hurt to make sure in the little way that you can to make sure that your fellow man is voting. Right? There's nothing wrong with that. It's what happened next.
Oh my!
And it might be me. Let me know if it's me. So
all right.
She says, yeah, my whole family is going after I get off work. I said, oh, okay. She said, my son, he's 18. I said, okay. She said, yeah, he's voting for his first time. I said, yeah, that's good.
That's awesome.
She says, I asked him who he was voting for, and he told me he wasn't going to tell me. I'm so proud of him because that's how that's supposed to be. Am I bugging? Isn't that not a thing to be proud of? Like, or was I just harsh?
I know why you think that. I know why you think that because that can be interpreted. Are you about to do something against my interest?
Right. Like,
but I have to say, from purely and civics, whatever, he's within his right not to.
No. I agree with that.
Mhm.
I don't. I'm not suggesting that she should have made him
No.
tell her. No. What I'm saying is, like you said, that kind of sounds like
It
you doing something that you
know.
know.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna look down on
and
and be like,
that's not something to be proud of to me. Like,
no.
Like to not have a problem with it is one thing.
Right.
To be proud of it, that's kind of crazy to me.
I look
to be okay with it is fine.
It sounds like it can be interpreted by some, right? Where he's like, I'm about to get them to take your bodily autonomy away.
Right. like that's just how it hit my ear. And it's like I said again, I want you to be clear. It would be one thing if she was like, all right, I respect it. That's fine.
Yeah.
For her to be like, I'm so proud of him. What?
Well,
what?
Okay, so can we, for a second, veer off a little bit into that part? Some of the shit motherfuckers be proud of, I'll be like, you must not have a lot of things going on in your life for that to be something you putting this much emphasis on, especially when it comes to shit you can't control. Like this is not some shit that you worked, earned, did all this stuff to, and then you eventually achieved it. This was complete happenstance that it happened, and it happened in your favor, and you're running with it like, yay me! And I'd be like, you ain't do shit though. Excuse me, ma'am. You ain't do shit.
Yeah.
Why you pride goeth before the fall? And I'm about to trip your ass. This shit is not for you to be running around here. Look, but at the same time, I also have been told numerous occasions that I tend to overcompensate the whole idea. That's why my wife had to tell me celebrate our wins. She had to tell me this because I tend to go the other way and diminish it a bit.
Sure.
But this seems it's a little weird.
It's weird. Like what?
Weird.
What do you mean you're proud? Anyway, all right.
Hold up, but what if he had said, I'm not going to tell you because I studied civics and I don't have to. Then you learned about your shit.
Sure. All right. Sure. If he was doing something to specifically demonstrate some type of new knowledge.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That'd be proud of. Absolutely. But the way she framed it.
Right.
It's like.
Because motherfuckers be proud of shit that they. Yo, they do. Yo. I'll be like, so you run around doing cartwheels about that and then giving me this. I bet you wish you could look. You ain't.
Yeah. All right. So, all right. Okay. So, like, another dumb conversation. I
agree with you, Discord. Discord says, personally, I feel like it's important within a family to be in accord regarding your ideals. Like, I agree with that. Like, are we on the same page? You know
what's funny about that? Yeah. I would extend that beyond family.
Yeah, true. You're in the circle.
Don't surprise me.
Yeah, let me find out.
Yeah.
On some. No, actually, I can't stand Alaskans. And,
right.
And like, I wish they were all dead. Like, no, big. No,
I don't associate. I would even go a little bit further than inner circle. I just want to know where you stand. I want to know where you stand so I know what I'm associating myself with.
True.
That's all. True. That's all. Like,
because you do get judged by the company you keep.
That's it.
You do get judged by the company you keep.
I'm not going to physically accost you.
No.
Simply for your belief. That takes action. You gotta actually do some shit.
Yeah.
So let me know so I can know where to put you.
Because I do like to put people in places. Like, I need to know who I can go to for certain stuff, for certain discussions, for whatever. And if you one of them people who has some sort of wild ass belief and it involves the dehumanization of another whole ass group.
Yeah.
And take it further, you would much rather see them dead.
Right.
Like, yo, I don't want to be around that. I don't want to be around that. Like, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah. So like I said, another dumb conversation I happened to be around. Wasn't much of a conversation. It was more like the disturbed ramblings of a village idiot. So I'm in a different office this time, and one of my coworkers just blurted out of nowhere, "Why y'all feel the need to tell us that y'all voted?"
Relax, all right? You might want to relax just a bit.
So she then started rambling incoherently about how much she dislikes that. One of the other agents in the office even tried to stop her by talking to her about something else. She engaged in that conversation, and then once that conversation was over, she went right back to complaining about people expressing that they voted.
I hate when people complain about people expressing that they voted. Come on now.
So yet another dumb conversation happened at yet another office. This is all this week. Believe it or not, this is all this week. There were 5 of us in there talking about something. I don't remember exactly what. And one of the rental agents says something about and I have to say that I have to say this for the purpose of this.
This course said NPC dialogue. Yep. That's basically, yeah.
I have to say this for the purposes of what's going on. You'll understand why I gave this disclaimer once I say it, and you'll understand
facts, Joe.
Why I had to say it when I explained the story.
Okay.
So we were having a conversation, and one of the rental agents says something about a midget. Now, I'm instantly annoyed, but I also am curious as to how 2 of the people in my vicinity are going to handle this, because I've known them both for years, and it's always like I've known them both for double-digit years, and it would suck. It always sucks. Like, as a matter of fact, we just talked about it. It always sucks when you find out something about somebody and you gotta look at them differently now.
Yeah.
So I sat back. I'm like, let me see what y'all. Let me see how y'all will handle this. Luckily, they didn't disappoint. So back to the idiot. So they tell her, yeah, you can't say that. I'm sorry. Let me give you some context in that she is Gen X. Mm-hmm. I only say that not because of any generational gangbanging. I only say that to give you an approximation of what her age is. Her response is, can't say what? Question, how long has it been since it has been widely considered, inconsiderate at the very least, to use that term? I know it's not a recent development. No, it's not a recent development. So, all right. So they tell her which word, and she says, well, what am I supposed to call them? Hi, Mr. Dwarfism? Someone tells her that one term that seemed to be acceptable is little people. Now, I don't know if it still is or not.
Yeah, I don't know either.
But at least they were trying. They were making an attempt. All right, so
it's like these motherfuckers using the R word all the time.
Bruh. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Then she says, that's stupid. I'd much rather be called a midget than a little person.
Nobody cares what you would much rather be. Yo, seriously? Seriously?
And they did not disappoint immediately. You're not a little person.
This don't have nothing to do. Yo,
it don't got shit to do with what you would prefer.
But you know what? I ain't gonna hold you. Y'all the outliers. What she's doing is normalized.
Yeah.
We saw that the other day.
Absolutely.
Y'all the jeez, man.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So, and this is when I had to say something. I said, you aren't the person who has to be called it. So you don't really get a say.
You don't get to decide what other people want to be called, you motherfucker.
simply you.
Jeez.
Not you. So she says.
Then he said, "Who called me?"
So she says.
She
says. So when they come in, I'm going to call them dwarfs. I prefer that over little person.
Yo.
So I say.
I was about to say something real wild right now, but I was.
So I say, number one, again, you aren't them. So it's not really your choice.
And you could ask.
Number two, every person you may think is a little person may not have dwarfism.
Most people cannot tell the difference.
Right.
I'm telling you, they can't, unless it's an extreme case.
Point of order. I don't know if all little people are technically dwarfs or not.
Right.
My statement was not a commentary on that. It was a commentary on her intelligence and her discernment. See, because you thinking somebody's a little person does not mean that they're a little person.
And obviously, by the ignorant shit that you're saying now, you are not a judge of. No. This is one of these cases where you will have to question her discernment, her mindfulness, and how demure she is.
Can't stand you. So she says, then what am I supposed to call them?
Frank.
I said,
Tommy.
Bruh, I said, how about you try their name? That was so unfathomable to her.
What you mean I can't call him nigga no more? Right. What am I supposed to call him?
That was so unfathomable to her.
She went, their names?
Right.
What kind of a freak show are you? You're weird.
Exactly. Discord says, why refer to a person regarding a disability to begin with?
Can you imagine that?
Pertinent to the conversation.
Hey, one leg, come here.
Right.
What are you?
Because here's the thing.
Hey, Blindy, what the fuck?
I would give her a little more credence.
Don't do it.
If this was about trans people, right?
Yeah.
Because that is something that you may have to address. Yeah. Because in a business setting, you may say Mr. or Miss or Miss.
That's right.
So that would have made a little bit more sense.
That's right.
There is no scenario when you are trying to rent apartments or address a tenant's concerns that you have to bring up their height.
You don't even, bro. Can you imagine Charles Xavier riding into a room and she go, "Hey, Wheels, what the fuck is?" Or worse,
legs.
Hey, legless. Could you come in? Yo, listen. First of all, the grace that you want to offer speaks well of your character.
Absolutely.
But I have to tell you, they're from my generation, and I'm telling you, it's not warranted. It's not. Listen, when it comes to some stuff, the more complicated things, sure, but stuff like that, don't get.
Well,
Gen X is ignorant as fuck, and I'm telling you, this is my. They're ignorant as fuck with a lot of shit, bro.
Right.
A lot of shit. I know they like to jump on the boomers, but I'm telling you, right? Ignorant as fuck.
I was at work, and her direct manager and somebody else that isn't a direct manager to her but is above her were in the room. So I wasn't about to.
Why did Discord say, "Hey, Professor Purpleach"?
Like, bruh, like what? Like, what are we doing?
Yo,
so
that is wild.
So eventually in the conversation, well, not even eventually makes it seem like more time passes. Very soon after that comment, her manager was like, "Hey, that's not acceptable.
Yeah.
And I better not ever hear you say that to a tenant or a prospective tenant ever.
If we get a subpoena here,
bruh,
for some motherfucking lawsuit, because your goofy ass ran around calling motherfuckers midgets and all this other crazy shit, your ass is fired. Your ass is fired.
And then she explained to her about the situation that happened a few years ago where there was somebody, trans person in the office, and they were pre-transition, gender reaffirming surgery, and they were being referred to as Miss, and they contacted the downtown office. So we ended up changing all of our letters to say either resident or their name without Mr. or Miss. And she wasn't like trying to be in trouble. She was just,
Yo, your audio sound crazy right now.
your audio sound crazy. He wasn't trying to get anybody in trouble. He was
right. I don't know. Something you broke something over there. Something.
I ain't do it.
I'm looking at our MBPS and it ain't low. It's like 327. So I don't know what's going on.
You broke it.
I ain't break. Listen, look. There's many things I'll break. This ain't one of them. This ain't one of them.
Look, I don't know what to do.
It's perfect now. It's back now.
Oh, okay. I don't know. Maybe some type of spike happened. Probably. But yeah, he wasn't trying to get anybody in trouble. He was just letting, FYI type thing. Like, you should probably introduce this more gender neutral stance or type of correspondence for your shit.
Yo, Joe said.
And since then we have.
Joe said, I always laugh when white dudes are incensed that we get unhappy. Unhappy is wild. If they say the N-word, the sense of entitlement is glaring.
No, it's a thing.
Yeah.
It's a thing.
Why do you want to say it?
Yeah. Well,
okay, so if this is a group of little people, they're calling themselves back and forth, midget, dwarf, whatever, right? Hobbit, whatever they playing.
Right.
They're part of the club.
Exactly. They
don't take that. They're literally part of the same demographic that deals with all of that shit, right?
Yeah.
So that's not going to be. It's the same as if you have two women. There's happen to be sisters. They call themselves each other out of their names all the time. Hey, bitch, come here. Such and such. Hey, little hoe. Blah 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 blah.
Right.
You
better not.
Outside of that, you better not. And by the way, I don't understand why this is not. This is what I mean by people are acting in bad faith, because this is not hard to understand at all.
No.
Your father might have a nickname for you that you don't want nobody else calling you. I've been calling my daughter Monkey for years. Let some motherfucker out in the streets call her that.
Facts.
It's going to be something. Facts. So this is not hard.
It's really not a difficult concept.
It's not. People are operating in bad faith. And I always say, hey, bro, you can say whatever you want to say.
Oh, yeah.
You need to be prepared for the consequences that come after that. That's all. I live my life through that in the sense that I know they got a cell that can hold me. I've been in them. They work pretty good. So it's up to me to choose my response according to how much I want to be inconvenienced. Just for that fleeting satisfaction,
right,
of tattooing your eye to the back of your skull and shit. So it depends on where I'm at.
Sure.
We had that conversation before about Will Smith and Chris Rock. Yo, you could have 100% did what you did, but this ain't the venue.
Right.
You call that man up. You go, yo, I'm about to go play some golf. Yeah, come over and blah, blah, blah. Bring him over there, and then you approach him like a man, saying you didn't like the shit he said, blah, blah, blah. If shit go left, dang! But guess what you didn't do? He didn't do it in front of witnesses. He didn't do it in front of a big dumbass camera. And he didn't do it in front of millions of fucking snitches. That's going, as soon as the police department come in there, I saw it, I synced it. And I even got it on my phone. Anybody, I don't care who you are, but particularly those of you who come from environments where it's just the nature of what's going on here, that the criminal justice system is always involved in something around here. You either part of it yourself or you have seen, people that are part of it. Y'all all know. Y'all all know better.
Yep.
Y'all all know better.
Very simple.
All know better.
Mm-hmm.
All of them.
So the next thing is back to the one who was bothering me about getting Wi-Fi for the TV.
Excuse me, are you gonna get Wi-Fi for this?
Well, this time it was a printer. It's a whole backstory.
It was who?
A printer. It's a whole back.
I thought you said predator. I was like, what?
No. It's a whole backstory of decisions, ranging from not well thought out to just flat out dumb that were made that led to this situation. So, quick recap for full context. We've talked about some of this stuff already. We have these printer /fax /copier /scanner combo machines, and we have a service contract for them. Basically, every location has at least one. When the training center opened, of course,
Big Mike
bound to get one. What up, Mike? When the training center opened, of course, they were bound to get one. There was one in the basement of the downtown office that was only being used for about 15 copies a month. Someone decided to take that one out and put it at the training center. They never told my department that or when it was happening.
Right.
The person who tried to set it up did it wrong because he had no idea what he was doing.
Oh.
I fixed it.
Okay.
Someone decided that we needed to take it back downtown.
Okay.
So they bought the training center a brand new one and sent it to them, had it delivered to the training center. Oh. And the one that they had at the training center at that time was supposed to come back downtown. When the new one got there, these people that are making these hasty decisions had finally decided to talk to my department about it.
Right.
My boss told them it doesn't make any sense to do what you're doing the way that you're doing it.
Right.
But I was already in the process of setting the new one up when the call came that the one that was already at the training center would be staying there and the new one would be coming downtown. All right. So now to the Wi-Fi part. They have laptops.
Keep going. I can hear you.
If you've bought a laptop recently, you may know that slowly but surely it's getting harder to find one with an Ethernet port. They get things in their email that they may want to print from their laptops. I'm sorry. They get things in their email that they may want to print out from time to time. The main way that they access their email is through their laptops. My suggestion to them was to log into their email on the desktop PCs because the desktop PCs are already connected to the copier through the local area network. They're already connected to the copier. They will print anything that you need it to print. Just do it that way. One of them listened to that advice. The other one just kept crying. So in the process of the new discourse of cats. So the process of the new copier being bought for them, the one that kept crying found out that the copier was capable of printing through Wi-Fi. From that moment, she had been pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing that idea. But she tries to be slick. So she would just kept saying like she wanted to be, why can't she print from her laptop? Why she wouldn't have initially mentioned Wi-Fi at all. She would just keep saying, I want to be able to print from my laptop. Why can't I print from my laptop? It's crazy that I can't print from my laptop. Blah, 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 blah. So what I did was I brought out a USB cable and I hooked it up to the copier because, again, for two reasons. One, I knew that it was what's the most encompassing way I can say this? I knew that it was going to be a difficult task for her to be able to reliably print from her laptop to that printer through Wi-Fi. Yes, that's how I'll say that. That was one. Two, I'm petty. Y'all know. So like I said, she kept asking about printing from her laptop, but wouldn't mention Wi-Fi because she was trying to be slick. So I brought her a USB cable. Hooked it up to the copier. Then she started crying about that. Then she started explicitly mentioning Wi-Fi. Mind you, they basically use their laptops as desktops.
Well, yeah.
They are rarely working anywhere other than in the training center.
Right.
When they are in the training center, 95% of the time, their laptops are in their office on their desk. The other 5% of the time, the laptops are on the table in the main part of the center. Where their desk is in their office is like 3 feet away from where the printer is. They could absolutely, literally connect the USB cable to their laptops without moving the laptop. But she did enough crying that my supervisor, who's not my supervisor, looked into it, and I was
like, that's a bad precedent.
Wait.
That's it.
So I looked into it, and yes, that copier was indeed Wi-Fi capable. But I think you missed the sentence that I constructed very carefully. I knew that it would be very difficult for her to be able to print from her laptop to that copier through Wi-Fi. I knew that for a fact. There were several things that went into it and different levels of it, but I knew that sentence was true.
Right.
So I'm like, all right, if she want to print through Wi-Fi, I'm going to give her printing through Wi-Fi. So I went out there to hook them up to the printer through Wi-Fi. She wasn't there, but the one who doesn't cause the problems was there. So I grabbed her laptop, set it up. When she saw how slow and how unreliable the Wi-Fi printing was, she said she was just going to keep printing from the desktop like she always had been. I said, okay.
Listen, sometimes you got to pop out and show niggas.
Hey, listen.
So let me ask you a question before you continue with that. How does it feel to know that this has been a thing working in her mind for quite a little time now, and how she convinced herself that she is absolutely justified in wanting that, and she just can't seem to get why the mean old IT dude just...
I have not gotten that piece of satisfaction yet because, like I said, she wasn't there that day. Oh, the one that doesn't cause problems was there. So I have not seen her yet. But yeah, I like I said, the one that wasn't causing problems, when she saw how slow and unreliable it is, she was like, I'm just gonna keep doing what I've been doing. I said, okay. I said, but wait, you don't have to do that. You could use the USB cable. Again, it's close enough to your laptop that you don't have to move.
Right.
You just got to plug it in.
Right.
So she's considering that. Because I'm like, that would be a basically instant print. Like, you click print, it starts printing.
Yeah.
With this Wi-Fi shit, because they're in the basement.
Oh.
And our Wi-Fi router is on a different floor.
Of course.
So the Wi-Fi signal has to come from the router down to the laptop, up to the router, down to the printer, up to the router. And it's like, that's going to be annoying. It's not going to work as fast as you want it to or as often as you want it to.
Yeah.
Out of 7 or so tries, I think it failed like 2 or 3 of those times. And it wasn't the first 2.
Yes.
So it's like, all right, this is what you wanted. Here, you got what you wanted.
So my question next is,
I haven't seen her yet.
Okay.
So I don't know how she's reacted, but
the one that causes trouble, that's the one I'm more interested in. The reaction to that.
Right.
I'm gonna see where that goes.
I informed you thusly. That's all I can say. Next thing. I told you I got a lot for work. I think it's the last thing. So this is really just an excuse to bring something up because remember there was a point in time where like through all of these work things I wanted to give a teachable moment. This is an excuse to give a teachable moment. It happens. It's not something that On a normal week, I probably wouldn't even bring this up.
Right.
But first of all, when you have a problem, the best way to get that problem solved is knowing how to express the problem. I talked about that last week with the lady that couldn't log into her ADP.
What SB you mean?
Yeah, exactly. I talked about this last week with the lady that couldn't sign into her ADP on her app. So this lady was having trouble opening Excel files.
Mm-hmm.
That is what she told my supervisor, who's not my supervisor, is that this Excel file that is on her desktop that she had recently accessed will not open. To be super specific, what this means to her ear when she hears this is that there is a single Excel file that is located on the desktop that when clicked upon, nothing happens.
Okay.
That's not true. Okay. That is not what was happening.
Okay.
So, as always, my supervisor, who's not my supervisor, and I, when we encounter a situation that's not like cut and dry, and we know exactly what it is and exactly what we sit there for a second and we go back and forth brainstorming potential issues.
Right.
So
could be the stars, could be sunspots.
Listen. Then I went down to look at it. So what was actually happening is that when you clicked on this file, that was not on a desktop, by the way.
Okay.
Excel opened, but there was no visible spreadsheet. Now, I initially thought it was just unresponsive.
Yeah.
So I waited a little while, and then I tried to use the buttons at the top, and they worked. So I'm like, all right, it's not unresponsive. I clicked on a different file. That file opened fine. She said, it's a couple of them, though. So I found a different one that was doing the same thing. And I'm like, all right, okay. It's something with Excel. So my initial thing was, let me go ahead and repair my Office installation. I did that.
Right.
No change. I'm like, okay. I opened it again, and I'm like, all right, the buttons that are up top work. So the program is not unresponsive. So I went into the View menu, and I realized that the only button that was not grayed out was a button that says the word unhide.
Yo.
So I clicked on that.
Stop, yo.
And what do you know?
Stop, yo.
There the data was. Now, when I told the lady this, she acted as if she had no idea. Now, there are a couple problems with this.
Well, her not having no idea?
Yes. The first problem is the thing that I wanted to bring up as a teachable moment. And I've said this before on here. I just want to reinforce it. Computers, and by extension, programs, only do what they are told. Now, I know, everything from the most basic version of Notepad all the way up to the most advanced AI technology that we publicly have access to.
So ass.
They only do things when they are told to do the things. And if you don't have a virus and there are no bugs in the software, that means you told it to do the thing that it is doing. Well, maybe she did it by mistake and didn't realize it, right? Well, there is no key combination for doing this particular thing. So she could not have mistakenly pressed the key combination. But even if there was, in order for it to be hidden when you open the file, you had to save it while it was hidden. Which means that you would have seen that there was nothing on the screen when you saved the file.
We kept the files.
And again, the kicker is there was more than one file like this. Which means several times she either benefit of the doubt forgot that she hid the workbook.
Yo, leave that woman alone.
Oh, okay.
Leave her alone. Like seriously. Like, all right. 3-0. 3-0. 3-0.
Because nigga, what are you talking? Huh? What do you mean? Oh. It's hidden.
Yo,
How did
the
that?
moment you said you went up there and saw everything was grayed out, but I said to myself, I was like, "You did this,
Like, bro,
you did this, like you did this.
There is no other option."
You
Well,
did this.
okay. Most benefit of the doubt, which I highly doubt happened.
Oh.
Someone else,
I mean,
physically sat at her computer,
sure,
hid the workbook, saved it, closed it without her knowing.
Listen,
It's possible.
It's in the realm of possibility.
Yeah.
Much like it's in the realm of possibility that there is other dimensions we have yet accounted for.
No, let's not do that. Let's not do that.
No, I'm just saying.
Let's do something more tangible.
But that
it is as possible as me becoming the next president of the United States.
Sure.
Right. I think all of the qualifications.
It's more possible for you to become president of the United States than it is for me to become president of the United States. So sure, I will absolutely. Yeah.
So yeah. I man,
wow.
What do you,
Miss Ma'am? See, that's where the Miss Ma'am comes from,
Fix.
right there. That's when you become
like,
Miss Ma'am.
What are you doing and or talking about? I'm not quite clear on what's happening right now.
You did this.
Clearly.
You did this.
Again, to bring back something that I said last week, or the week before, I can't remember, out of context. Cancer is you.
Or the way I typically express it, you are cancer.
Like, what are we talking? This gonna say SPJ did, man, 2028. Like, what are we talking about here? What happened? Yeah. What has transpired in your? Never mind. All right. So when I told my supervisor who's not my supervisor,
she laughed.
She was like,
"Of course,
no. She was too befuddled to even laugh. She was like, "Wait, what?" I said, "Yeah." And that's what I thought the whole key combination thing. She was like, "Well, maybe it's a key shortcut."
No.
I said, "You know what? Maybe." And then I sat down and I Googled it. No.
She did.
There's ways to do that. There are ways to hide cells or columns or rows with a key combination, I believe. But there is no way to hide the entire workbook.
Listen, the killer is in the house.
Yes, absolutely. 100%. All right. Anyway, moving on to something. Where we at? Is this a thing?
It might not be.
Oh, I see what's happening. I don't like that.
It doesn't matter what you like.
Does it?
I watch. It's this YouTube. I can't remember his damn name, so I can't even give him no credit for it. What he's done is compiled storylines of wrestlers from the Attitude Era and probably a little after, right? And bro, no, a lot of it was the Ruthless Aggression Era too, where he will take video. He must got a ton of wrestling video. He's got The Rock versus Austin, Undertaker versus Triple H, and it's not just matches. It's literally the whole build up to them. It's all of it. It's the incidents that took place, the context, all of that. And a lot of these videos go for about an hour and a half, sometimes 2 hours. But when you put all of that together, you realize that's only this beef could have been going on all year. But televised, it was only about 2 hours of program.
Right.
But to distill it this way, to me, WWE should be doing more of that themselves. Yeah. Just take the individual storylines and give us, these little things that talk about it. I don't need no commentary from no narrator like they used to do back in the day. I don't need none of that. Just the storyline between these motherfuckers, because that shit is good programming. I don't give a fuck what nobody say, man. Good programming.
Absolutely facts. All right. Is this It's not doing what I thought it would do. Oh, wait. That's why. All right. So, like I said, last week I had pulled up several of these, and we just never got a chance to get to them because time. So, first one. Am I the asshole for telling my mom she was an unwanted guest?
I need more context.
My wife has had a stressful time at work and was looking forward to a vacation at her grandparents' cabin. She brought a few
Oh,
books.
no.
She brought a few books she wanted to read, and I brought my fishing rod. She had no plans to entertain. My dad stopped by to go fishing. It was supposed to just be my dad stopping by for the day. But somehow my mom inserted herself, and I was shocked to see her.
Mom needed something to do, man.
My wife had no plans to entertain her. I told my mom that. My mom bought stuff for lunch and dinner and tried to engage with my wife into making dinner for us all, and my wife said no.
Wait a minute, hold on. I'm confused about this part. His mom.
What up, McKenna?
What up, McKenna? His mom tried to engage with her to make dinner for all of them, meaning
yes.
Should get up and make dinner for everybody. Is that?
Yes, but I think both of them, like together, they would make dinner.
Mom, you can't do it.
What? So, okay. My wife said no. She's relaxing and reading. If my mom wanted to cook, that's her prerogative. My dad and I get back late, and at the table, my mom started to complain.
Don't complain
about and how she did all this herself. I looked at my wife, who just looked at her plate. No, I looked at my wife, who just took her plate and ate it in her room. My mom started to complain to me about it, and I told my mom she technically wasn't invited, and my wife had no expectations to entertain her in my wife's cabin while my wife is on vacation. My mom started saying, well, she wouldn't have came if she knew that. I told my mom next time to take the hint. If you aren't invited, don't come. My parents left after dinner. My mom complained that my wife should have tried to be a gracious hostess, and I said maybe my mom should have tried not being an unwanted guest. Yo this did not go how I expected this to go, right? Yeah. Because this has been voted overwhelmingly the asshole. No.
Oh, I disagree.
Absolutely not. First of all,
I disagree.
First of all, my mother would never.
Yeah.
My mother would not have invited herself, first of all.
Yep.
If she felt the urge to come, she would have reached out first.
Yep.
And then if she happened to come, she would not have been like, hey, Chrissy, let's go make all them dinner. And then on the instance that Chrissy was like, I just want to relax and chill, she would not have later on been like, hey, y'all, I had to make this all by myself.
That's corny.
What the fuck are we doing here?
Yo, see, this. All right, okay. I am trying to figure out why this amount of assholes called him an asshole, because I'm trying to figure it out, bro. Because here's the thing: like, is it a that's your mom's blah blah blah? Listen, we people at the end of the day, and we adults. Thanks. At that point, they're adults. Like, you was not. I personally don't have a problem with mom popping up as long as she wasn't going to be bothersome. If she wanted to come up there and entertain herself by cooking dinner or whatever else thing she had she may wanted to do, cool. But you can't get up there and then insert yourself in somebody else's plans when all they wanted to do was fucking relax. Right. Like, no. No.
Facts. There are a lot of comments on this one.
Wow.
Come on. I'm trying to. Okay, I think I'm almost at the end. Yeah. All right. So that's fine. You're the asshole. And let's see why so many people think this man is the asshole.
Yeah.
Mate, you're the asshole. Your first paragraphs tell you you're the asshole. Your wife has had a stressful time at work. The trip to the cabin is an escape for her. No finger lifting, no hosting. So what do? You invite your dad, knowing from the past experience your mom would likely jump in because, as you said, she does this all the time. Then you leave the two of them to it because you and your dad are going to fish. Bet you two had a great time. And then you come back to find your wife has been made to feel uncomfortable and restricted in her own family's place. Again, knowing that your mom invites herself and behaves this way all the time, drama ensues. How restful for your wife. You blame your mom for all of this. Get a few days in. Do you wipe the dirt and denial off that mirror? That's you staring back at yourself. You're the blame. This is an interesting take.
Yo,
and I get a part of what he's saying.
Me too, but I have a question.
But isn't the mother an adult?
The mother is an adult, but also, don't we did he mention that his mama is drama filled? I don't remember.
I don't know.
So where did you get that idea?
No.
It sounds like he's adding that shit to make. No, I'm not. I'm not thinking that.
In a different scenario, I would agree with this take.
Me too.
But again, isn't the mother an adult?
The mother is an adult, and she should be able to listen. You can make the argument. God damn, mom wasn't going to be home by herself.
Here's the thing, yo. There are certain degrees of separation to fault, right?
Yes.
So if the scenario was, how this person behaves, why would you invite them?
Right.
I would give you more blame for that.
Right.
Not third degree. You know how this person behaves. You didn't invite them, but you invited somebody who would make them want to come. Like, what? No, we're not doing that.
And the other thing that we're not doing is not absolving mom of personal responsibility, which says you read the room. If you're going to be there, read the room. Like, okay, ain't nobody trying to be bothered with no bullshit. They on vacation. So what I'm going to do, since I'm here and inserted myself, I'm going to make myself small. I'm not going to take up as much space. And I'm still going to have a good time as I kind of get to be around the family a little bit and I ain't home fucking alone. Mm-hmm. I'm going to be just appreciative of the fact that, that I'm here, even though I wasn't really invited, by not bothering people. But see, there is a certain sense of unawareness that some people have. And it's usually some of the most selfish people that you know. They're unaware. They're just literally unaware that they're imposing, that it's an imposition. Yeah. They're unaware of it. And just because you're unaware of it doesn't make it less annoying. It's every bit as annoying. And maybe you should be made aware of it because maybe, just maybe, you might learn something at least about this particular situation. That if this situation like this ever comes up again, you now have the experience to learn from. Go, you know what? Turns out I got a couple of old friends back around. I'll hang out with them. Let's do a bridge night. Let's make some gingerbread. Let's, I don't know. Let's fix the car. Whatever.
Right.
Notice how I put the fixed car in there because I ain't want to be super sexist with the thing and the yeah.
Yes.
All right. But since you decided to show up there, the least you could do is not be bothersome. That's the least you could do. And, she imposed her will on everything. And I'm mama love. All right, yo, what? I'm chilling. Like, I don't want to cook food with you. I'm on vacation too. Like, I'm not slave. That's why I always say hats off to SBJ, because when he goes on vacation in these little vacation groups and shit, a lot of times he's cooking. And I know he likes to eat. Lord knows he likes to eat.
Nigga.
But in the process, he be feeding other motherfuckers. And it's vacation time. And in all rights, he has all rights to go. You motherfuckers know what Uber Eats look like, and all, but he will go and cook because it saves people money.
Yep.
You know, and he likes to eat. So, thanks. But that is something I fear that I could never do. And I don't just mean the cooking part. Right. Like I could have worked for a 5-star restaurant. I could have trained what's that chef that do that crazy ass TV show and shit where he be yelling at motherfuckers. I could have trained Gordon Ramsay. But if I'm on vacation, I'm not doing. I'm gonna tell you something else. That's relatively new for me. Having that mindset that vacations are for doing only what I want to do.
Yeah.
But after I had that experience in Belize back in 2018, nah, nigga, I'm gonna do what I want, and I'm not gonna do what I don't want to do because this is my vacation. This is not a trip. This is a vacation.
I mean, to be clear though, I am that same exact way. You're not gonna. I know. Yeah, these motherfuckers ain't going. They try to convince me to do shit. No, listen. If I'm interested in doing it, I'm
yes.
If I'm interested, I'm in there.
I have no problem telling you no.
If I have no interest, I'm not doing it.
I'm not doing it.
Oh, you did it? No, I don't care what you. Yeah,
show me pictures.
I don't care what you have to say about this particular thing. Yeah. My mind has been made up. My decision is final.
I was about to say, like Mick Foley and shit when he was the manager of Raw. My decision is final.
Decision is final. Oh, y'all doing all? I'm not going. Why you're not? I'm not going.
So you just gonna sit here and yes. This is my vacation.
Exactly.
I'm gonna sit on this patio until the sun burns my eyes out. I'm not going to do shit but that for the foreseeable future. And then if something else comes up and I go, ooh, that's interesting.
All right, cool.
I'm gonna get my cane and my walking dog, and then I'm gonna go and do the shit.
I hate you so much. Next person, you're the asshole. I have a different take. You should have spoken to both of your parents and explained that this was just a fishing day, and if your mom wanted to fish, she was welcome to join you and your dad, but that your wife was relaxing at the cabin, so wouldn't be entertaining her, so it was best for your mom to either stay home or go fishing. When she showed up uninvited, you should have encouraged her to fish with you and then had a private conversation with your dad about how you were disappointed that he allowed this and that you would have to think your future invitations. Also, you shouldn't have stayed out late fishing when you knew your mom was at the cabin. You should have cut the fishing time short.
Your mom was back in the cabin, knowing the hell out of your wife.
You're the asshole for making sure that your day wasn't ruined on your wives. No!
I disagree.
Where is the accountability for mom?
There's no accountability for mom.
Where's the accountability for mom?
Mom makes apple pies. Apparently, there's no accountability because she be making that shepherd's pie shit real good, and it's like, yo, I don't understand where they're making their mom into an infant. Like she doesn't have any impulse control or the ability to read and write. And I just disagree.
You're the asshole for not sending your mom home.
No, this guy is wild.
Bro.
He's not sent. Mom, get the hell out, mom.
Yo, you're the asshole. I think it's safe to assume your mom and dad do things together all the time. Why are you assuming that? Why are you assuming?
I'm just amazed that he said, you're the asshole for not turning your mom around, putting a boot in her ass and sending her back down the road.
Nigga, yo, the gaslighting on this one? You're the asshole, and so is your dad. You yourself said your mom does this all the time, so your dad should have.
Did she? I don't remember him saying that.
Your dad should have called you to ask if bringing her was okay, and told her to get out the car and make her own plans. What is happening?
Well, he said, told her to get out the
car and make her own plans.
Wow, that's a. Apparently, some of these people are Bundys.
You think so? Let me get this right. Let me get this right. Because the next thing he says is, as for you, you shouldn't have left your mom with your wife. You could have easily said, "Oh, mom, I never knew you wanted to come fishing with us," and then took her with you. So you think that he has enough control over his mother?
I was about to say
he can make her come fishing, but he couldn't get her to not come by not inviting her.
Mom, if you don't get your ass in this boat,
like what is happening?
Yo, I really feel a certain kind of way about the way they talking about this shit, because it's almost like these people don't have moms.
Right?
Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
The closest thing I will give them that I'm seeing is you're the asshole for leaving your mother with your wife. That's the closest thing I'll give them.
But it ain't. It's still.
But still, because again, the mother, I presume, because you're old enough to have a wife, is an adult. So that's the closest thing. I don't
like how they think. I don't like how they think. I feel like the mom is an adult that should be able to read the room.
Yeah,
this is it's certain things about being just overly selfish, and that's part of being overly selfish, where you walk into a situation that's already been predetermined by other people, and then you make it all about you. That's a her thing. She didn't have to do that. Again, she could have went in there and made herself small.
Right. Why didn't you stay to entertain your mother? Your parents showed up because you invited your dad. Let me stop there. Your parents showed up because you invited your dad.
And then your dad's brother showed up because you invited your dad. And then your mom's sister showed up because your mom came. And this is all your fault.
Exactly. What? Which you should not have done in the first place, knowing that your wife planned to be alone. But what?
Huh?
He invited his father to go fish. They weren't at the cabin.
Mom already knew. Yo, you know what, y'all?
On top of it, you selfishly proceeded with your plans to go fishing and left your wife to entertain your mom all day.
They went up there to go. Oh my. Oh. All right, peep the game. Me, my kids, and my wife are headed to Panama.
Mm-hmm.
They start letting people on the plane. Out of the blue, SBJ pops up. He's got his bags. He's got all this shit with him. Yeah, man. I'm going down there too. So staying a week, right? Yeah, we staying a week. Gets on the plane. I'm going to be happy to see him because, oh shit, he about to go blah, blah, blah. But when we get down there, he would know that we obviously have plans to do shit.
Right.
So if you're down with the plans, cool. But you trying to divert us from doing what the fuck we're doing is no bueno, because you really just popped up and we didn't even know. So if you want to do what we're doing, cool. But if you don't, go find something else to do. Shoot. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand why this is difficult. Why is this difficult to understand?
Nigga, I ain't got it. All right, next one. Am I the asshole for telling my sister that if she wants to go on vacation, she can book her own because she's not coming with us?
Woo! Spicy.
Nigga. I'm turning 19 in a few weeks, and my parents are taking me to Ireland for a week.
Oh, they're going to see Biddy.
Yeah. My sister is staying home with her daughter because neither me nor my parents want them with us, because all she normally does on vacation with us is complain. We were all at the table, and she asked what I was doing for my birthday. And my mother told her we were going to Ireland, and my sister said, am I and her daughter going? Our mom kind of looked at her like, are you seriously asking that? And said, no. My sister asked why, and my mother was basically like, first of all, why would we take a 2-year-old on a 6-hour flight? And also, it's for my birthday. I also chimed in and said I didn't want my niece there because she would ruin the trip, which is maybe kind of harsh, but it's the truth. My sister took offense. Yeah, my sister took offense to this and started playing the victim and was saying I'm always being left out of things, which is kind of true because I've been on 3 vacations this year and they've all been me and my parents. But it's because taking a Tyler on vacation changes things. And she's also been on a vacation with her friends while her daughter stayed at home. So it's not like she never leaves the country. And she's also 26. So I don't know why she would still want to go on vacation with our parents. She kept complaining about it, and I was like, if you want to go on vacation, you can book your own because you're not coming with us. She got mad and basically called me an asshole while our parents were still sitting there.
All right, so wait a minute. So, all right, so I do understand wanting to go on vacation with your parents, regardless of what age you are. That's I can see that. However, everything else there, read the room, sis. Like you have a screaming Mimi, with you, who is going to require attention all throughout the shit. Let's call a spade, y'all. It's only but so much controlling you can do with a toddler.
Yeah.
It's the reason why I get pissed when people bring them to movie theaters because, like, you know that there is a chaotic element to being that young and just not having impulse control because you're not supposed to. You're that young, right? So you're imposing this on everybody else and interfering with their good time. You made the decision to lay down and have that. That's your crotch fruit, right? So it's incumbent upon you to have to deal with the annoyance. It ain't incumbent on nobody else. When my daughter was a little girl, I never had my mom babysit her when I would get her before I had custody. I never had my mom babysit her. You know why? Because I didn't want to put that burden on my mom.
Mm-hmm.
I got her. Right? So at some point, you're going to have to accept the fact that there are sacrifices that come with having kids. One of those sacrifices is when motherfuckers going to have a good time, they don't want you carting along a baby bag and all this other shit or hearing all this, out with the lollipop. Or nobody wants to hear that on vacation. And it's bad enough we get on these planes and there's people with their kid on the plane acting ass. That happened. We went down to Panama, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
The kid that was sitting behind Malik was ass, right? But bad enough for that. I'm not taking. Listen, nobody's begrudging you your kid. You're begrudging everybody else. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah. Keep your little crotch goblin with you away from my vacation time. I'm trying to chill by the pool. These little motherfucker running past me with stinking ass diaper. No. Stay your ass home or go to fucking Disney or some shit. Take your kid, y'all go do some shit. She's right, yo. Y'all go book y'all do something. The fuck? We ain't doing that. Fuck out of here. Trying to have fun. I got a tequila right here. The fuck? No. I'm stepping on Legos. Get the fuck out of here. Like, no. Listen, my kid, listen, couple of like big moments in fatherhood for me, right?
Mm-hmm.
When my daughter no longer needed diapers, and now that she's an adult, so that when we do go places, she got her own money. She's not being annoying. I'm not having to chase after her all the time. Don't you? These are great moments. You have yet to experience that because your kid's little. That day will come, but not today. Stay your monkey ass home or go to Hershey Park or some shit. But you ain't coming with us. No. Such a goofy. What? Don't turn Barney on and shut the fuck up. Ain't nobody trying to hear that.
Nigga. All right. Tim is absolutely right. See, I hate this idea. This is very similar to the idea that a person apologizing for something should not be treated as if they did the thing that they did.
Right.
It's very similar to that. Because I understand, I hear and have heard the argument. And by the way, this one is overwhelmingly everyone sucks. So we'll get into the comments in a little bit. But I've heard the sentiment before. Oh, stop treating parents like they aren't humans. That's not what's happening.
That's not what's happening.
What's happening is you have a responsibility that you created.
Yeah.
Now, of course, I don't need to say it with our audience, but I will say it for posterity's sake. Of course, there are outliers where you necessarily didn't have the control in the situation. Whatever. But the vast majority of people that have babies chose.
That's pronounced bibis.
Chose, because we ain't far enough along in this worst timeline yet. True. The vast majority of people chose. Hey, listen.
That was a deep cut.
Hey, listen. The vast majority of people who have babies as old as this person is talking about chose to have those babies. Therefore, they have to deal with the consequences. Not they alone.
Right.
Because obviously it takes a village. 100%. 100%. And evidenced in this story, they have gotten help.
Yes.
They absolutely have gotten help with their child. They've gone on vacations and left the child home.
Biddy asked the question, why haven't they started planes for families only and then have a kid-free plane?
I believe they would lose out on money doing that.
They probably would.
Yeah, likely. So, yeah, no, you having a child but still being so young and wanting to have your fun, this is
how old they say she was again?
26.
Yo, I was 28 when I had you. I don't want to head.
So, like, you have to reap what you sow. Like, what?
Bro, it's hard. When you have, for those of you who haven't had kids yet, when you have a kid, they give you a service agreement, and you got to look through the terms of service, right? And then you decide, you read everything, you understand your rights and your responsibilities, sure. And then you sign it, you hand it off to the stork, and then they go off and take that shit to Santa Claus. So you should know already there's responsibilities that come with this. Yeah. And sometimes they're not always going to be fun. Like, for instance, going up to Sorrento's with my man Dennis, he got his kid with him. I got my baby girl with me. And as soon as we get right outdoor of the Sorrento's, a crap fest happens.
Yeah.
Where it's poop all underneath the thing, going all up the back. Mm-hmm. And I got a baby bag with wet naps.
Yikes.
We gotta turn, y'all. You gotta go back because I can't.
Yeah, I can't.
I can't. You know what I'm saying?
No, I have an example. It's more extreme. Not in some ways more extreme, in some ways less extreme because it wasn't shit everywhere. But I'm pretty sure I told this story when it happened when I was with my ex. And we went to Atlantic City, and the babysitter was in an accident, and the baby was in the car. So the baby was fine. Well, no, the baby wasn't fine. The baby ended up breaking her arm.
Jeez.
But like as far as outside of that physical damage, the baby was fine. Right. Like the baby wasn't like, surprisingly, wasn't really like wilding out about the arm being broken.
Maybe she was
with her grandmother, probably. She was with her grandmother. Her grandmother was fully capable of taking care of her. Mm-hmm. But we had to come home.
Of course you had to come home.
We had to come home.
Bro, of course.
It's just that simple. Hey, and my ex was like, oh, I don't know if we should. I'm like, no. Let's go. We're not supposed to come home for. I know, but
the baby arm broke. So
baby arm broke.
We
gotta go. Is there anything we can actually do? No, but we gotta go.
You gotta go.
It's our responsibility. The baby.
This is just a bust.
Will the baby be fine if we don't come home? Sure, but we gotta go.
We gotta go. Listen, because as I said, I'm sure knowing SBJ, he maybe cited one of the terms on his service agreement.
Yeah.
You remember?
I got a chance to read over it because I wasn't actually the biological father.
See?
So you
got a chance to read it. Because it's hard. It's hard when you are the biological parent. You busy. You might not be able to read all of it.
Yeah.
You're just happy the baby got all the toes and fingers and shit.
Facts. Yeah. So,
but yeah,
there are things that are inherent as far as responsibility is concerned, as far as picking and choosing what you are available to do
True.
is concerned when you are taking care of a child, specifically a toddler. Mm-hmm. Like, nah, B, it's certain things that just you're not going to be able to do.
Yeah.
It's just how that works.
It's just how
and yes, it's great to have somebody to help you out, but it seemed like I don't know if it was because she didn't have anybody else to watch the baby that she wanted to take the baby, or she specifically wanted to take the baby. I don't know which one it is. But either way, yeah, no.
Yeah, we got to normalize so a little common sense here. So there are some places I understand why you want to take the kid, but when a kid is under a certain age and they're not going to remember a lot of that shit, y'all need to really look at that and factor that into the places you take them.
Yeah.
It's something that I've seen a lot of other parents not really factor in, and it's like, yo, you can't tell me you did that for the kid. The kid's not even going to remember it. It's not going to remember this at all. It's going to see the picture, sure, but it's going to be a complete blank to them. This was for you. This was for you. At least be honest about that shit. I wanted to get some pictures, have this experience with the kid at this place. This kid doesn't know what the fuck's going on. You could have put that kid in a diaper box with a few little colorful pieces of paper. And that kid would have been like, Disney! They don't know. They don't know. Some of this shit is for you.
Oh, hold up. There's some context.
Uh-oh.
Yikes. Somebody says, geez, this is like what? The millionth time you've whined about your sister on here?
No!
You're the same asshole who tried to start your own religion so that you could scam people into giving you money. You're the freeloader who crashed your car and threw a fit because your parents wouldn't buy you a new. You're the lazy asshole who doesn't want to work for a living, so you purposely tried to get fired, and yet you think you can look down on your sister? Jeez, quit whining about her. You're totally obsessed.
My.
Well, that changes everything.
That does change everything. Oh, my.
Nigga, what is happening? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Now I gotta look at this person's profile. Because what is happening?
So, to be clear, this guy is a scammer, a grifter, a bum, a man of ill repute, and a whiner.
Well, we don't know if it's male or female.
Oh.
Let me see.
Says she wanted to start her own religion.
Bro.
So she can scam people.
I'm trying to find see.
And she would have got away with it too if it hadn't been for that rotten commentator.
Right. Let me see.
That is fucking hilarious.
Posts. Self-improvement. This is not good. Is the world over? Mildly infuriating. No stupid questions. Autism. Stupid questions.
Stupid pet tricks.
Revelation. Am I the asshole for telling? Oh no, that's the same. That's the one I just read. Hold on, let me see. Where's the next one? I don't see another. Oh, hold up. I got to scroll to the bottom. Okay. All right. Let me scroll to the bottom because what are you doing? Because I feel like I now need to see one of these other posts to be able to compare. All right. So where we at? Oh, that's not helpful. I'm finding it hard to find. Oh, okay. Am I the asshole? Oh, this was the post was removed, so I don't have the context of it, but this is the title. Am I the asshole for telling my sister that no one wants her living at home?
Wait a minute, what? Say that again?
Am I the asshole for telling my sister that no one wants her living at home?
Oh, jeez.
Why do obese people smell so bad?
Oh, jeez.
I'm stuck at my job. I hate my job, and I'm in a shitty situation where I only got this job because my dad knows the owner, and I basically got hired as a favor to my dad. So if I quit, it'll make my dad look stupid, and I'll look like an asshole. And also because everyone else is quitting, it'll make it look like I'm just doing it because they did. But anytime I bring up quitting, my mother says you can quit as long as you have another job lined up. But I don't know how to look for jobs or how to apply, and she won't let. Yeah, this sounds like a spoiled brat.
It does. It does.
Bro, yeah, I'm sorry. Everything I said is still true, but nigga, I can't give that benefit to you. My mother put a spending limit on my card without telling me.
Oh yeah. Oh
ma'am.
Yeah. Oh,
ma'am, that's your mother's money.
And she's not gonna have you spend it all the fuck up anytime you want. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Sister won't stop going into my room when I'm not home. My dad bought my sister a new car just because she complained a few times about the one she currently has. Oh, these fuckers got money.
Oh, come on now. So you can't even accuse the kid of being, the 26-year-old of being spoiled. Your ass is spoiled too.
Of course, Redditors would find a way to make me the bad guy in a situation where I literally did nothing wrong. This is the post. Parents changed plans on me last minute and then got mad at me for being annoyed about it. There's a specific restaurant I had been wanting to go to for a while, so I told my mother, and she said that my dad and her would take me out for lunch there. I had been looking forward to this all week, and then this morning my mother tells me that my parents have to look after my niece today, so we can't go to the specific restaurant because it's like an hour-long drive away, and it's apparently too long for my niece, and it would disrupt her sleep schedule or some bullshit. And she was also saying shit like, you wouldn't want your niece to be with us at this restaurant because she would spoil it for you, so we can go there another day. Now, we know that to be the case because in this other post, she specifically was saying, I pointed, I didn't move my.
Yo, your cameraman is ass.
So we know this to be the case because she specifically said this very thing about the trip.
Right.
She didn't want her niece to be there because she would ruin it. So, yeah, bro. Nah, I'm sorry. Everything I said was right.
No,
I still stand by everything I said.
But this person is
except
also shitty.
you. Nah, you the asshole.
She's a bad actor.
I ain't even mad at your sister no more because now I don't believe.
Yeah, that is as
you're
bad
not a reliable
as you made out
anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Ah, bro.
Damn it.
All right, the next one. Am I the asshole for telling my brother he's using weaponized incompetence against me over Hot Pockets?
Yo, side note. When I worked at the Spice Company, one of my co-workers was out for a couple of days because he had hemorrhoids.
Bro.
They start calling that nigga Hot Pockets when he came.
Yo, come on, bro. Yikes. Anyway.
They start calling that nigga Hot Pockets when he came.
I, 21-year-old female, damn, that's a long one, still live with my parents and brother, 25-year-old male. Like most people around our ages, considering the price of housing right now, my rental agreement with my parents.
You say 21?
21 and 25.
Yeah, come on. I ain't nobody tripping.
My rental agreement with my parents is that I buy all of my groceries instead of actually paying for rent. For the most part, I pay for my own gas too, but my parents are happy to help with that. My brother, on the other hand, doesn't even have any sort of rental agreement with my parents. He goes to college, only has 4 total classes, and has no job. He won't even partially fill my gas tank after going somewhere. I have a disorder called ARFID. I often will eat the same thing for months on end because of this. I have to use the family fridge. I almost always label my food with my name, and for the most part, if my brother wants one of my food items, he's actually pretty good at asking me if he can have some. My brother and I actually get along 90% of the time. To the story, since I often buy my safe foods for months on end, if I'm in a hurry to get to work, I occasionally forget to label them. I'll get home from work and half of my food is gone.
Jeez, half.
He knows I've been he knows I've been the only one buying these specific foods the whole time. His excuses every single time is they weren't labeled. How was I supposed to know? I respond back, who's the only person who's been getting this specific food item for months?
Yeah.
This has happened hundreds of times over the last 4 years. He has given me the same response every single time. I went to the store with my mom and I didn't have money, but I was out of meatball mozzarella hot pockets. I asked my mom if I paid her back my next paycheck if I could get them. She said yes. In her words, if it's something you can get yourself to eat, then it's worth it for me to pay for it. We get home and immediately my brother zones in on these hot pockets. And I told him, please don't eat too many. I want to have some this time. My mom said he could have 4 total. So he had 2 that night. I usually have 1 with a small side of potatoes. After only 2 days, I had only had 2 of this 12 pack, and they were all gone.
Oh my!
I asked my brother how many he ate since mom said he could only have 4, and his response was, "You never said my friend couldn't have any."
Oh, come on! No,
yo,
no. First of all, let me just say this too. Whoever you are, but you got to stop eating hot pockets.
I mean, sure.
Them things are the
sodium
in that shit is crazy.
Yeah.
But besides that, yo, he playing in her face.
Oh no, there's a lot more.
Oh, shit.
I lost it and told him there's actually no way you can keep doing this. You know that's my safe food and one of the few things I can eat right now. I've been getting it for months. I'm tired of you using this weaponizing competence against me to justify eating my food. You know I usually let you have some if you just ask. My brother gave me a kind of hurt look and basically called me an asshole and that he was just hungry.
Oh, shit.
My mom said while I was right, I might have been too harsh, and I know that he's sensitive to feeling like he's upset people. I don't know if I'm the asshole because of that. It's why I haven't said anything for those 4 years. I just finally got tired of it. I'm done having to tell him every single time I forget to label my food one time. Am I the asshole? Update. I talked to my mom this morning. I told her that I appreciate her being willing to replace my food my brother eats and being willing to pay for the gas he uses in my car, but I really prefer him to be the one to do all these things. My mom agreed, saying that she was also tired of having to make up for what he ate. I also told her I was going to be saving up for a mini fridge and freezer, and she actually said she'd buy it for me. I have a lot of medical and vet bills I'm paying at the moment, so my savings virtually don't exist right now. I'm super grateful she's willing to do this for me. Also, we called my brother upstairs to talk to him. I explained that I'm tired of having to buy myself more food because he keeps eating it all if I don't label it, including in Tupperware in the refrigerator. I didn't mention that initially because I can't really get mad at that until my mom pointed out my dad, and I all ask if it's someone's before eating it. He was quiet for a minute and said that I buy food and he has a hard time cooking, which is true. You could put a step-by-step recipe in front of him and he still managed to burn water. And I have seen the poor man genuinely attempt to. I asked him genuinely if he thought that he had ARFID since we're both autistic. I'm just lower support needs than he is, and ARFID often comes with autism as well. And he said, honestly, no, he can eat things he doesn't really like. So I told him that I want him replacing all of my things from now on, including my gas. I don't care if he has to use mom's card to do it. Don't worry, she was okay with this arrangement.
Okay, all right.
But he needs to do it. I then mentioned that if he'd like me to get his own set of food, not with my own money, when I go shopping for mine, as I have told him several times in the past, he sheepishly told me yes, he'd like that if I was willing. So I suppose we have a fix for now, at least. I'm going to be talking to my brother's friend who's actually been really nice about the whole thing. He offers to get me takeout a lot because of the times I complained about my brother that he ate my food. Hopefully this will be smooth sailing from here on out.
Good luck with that. Good luck with that.
What is happening?
So here's the thing. He's playing in her face.
Oh,
and then acting as if he's so hurt when she calls him out on the shit. I'm personally not buying that part of it. because you're looking for loopholes to eat her shit. And we're not talking about a hot pocket here, hot pocket there.
Nah.
12 in a fucking pack.
He ate 11 of them in 2 days. First of all, that's extremely unhealthy.
Yo, his blood pressure must look crazy right now.
Nigga. All right, hold up real quick. Because she brought it up several times. What is ARFID? Avoidant restrictive food intake disorder is a fairly new eating disorder. Children with ARFID are extremely selective eaters and sometimes have little interest in eating food. They may eat a limited variety of preferred food, which can lead to poor growth and poor nutrition. ARFID usually starts at a younger age than other eating disorders and is more common in boys. What are the signs? Kids with ARFID will fall within 3 main categories. Some are very selective eaters who may have strong negative reactions to smells, tastes, textures of color or colors of foods. They may be highly fearful of new foods called neophobia and scared of negative experiences related to unfamiliar foods. Some kids may have an overall lack of interest in eating and have a very low appetite or find eating minimally rewarding or not at all. These kids often deny feeling hungry. Other kids are afraid of what might happen when they eat. For example, experiencing pain, choking, or vomiting. Some kids with ARFID fall within just one of these categories, whilst others are in more than one. Many kids with ARFID are underweight. Others reach a normal weight, but may eat such a limited diet that they don't grow or it gets in the way of their school, family, or social lives. They're more likely to have anxiety or OCD, autism, or ADHD, and problems at home and school because of their eating habits. Bruh.
I never heard of it before, but
me neither.
It's a whole bunch of shit. You could fill an airplane hangout with the shit I know.
Sure.
You know
sure. Yikes. Because I was really curious because she kept referring to them as safe foods.
Right.
So, okay.
All right.
I learned something new today.
Yeah. Also,
you're absolutely not the asshole.
You can't be. And then the whole. Yeah, you said I couldn't.
Right.
Yo, that's some old wrestling.
The contract said I can't hit you.
Right.
Not you.
Right.
Like what?
Right. Like that. Yo, that is cornball, and it's blatant. It's blatantly obvious he's playing in your face. And all the whole hangdog look on his face when you chastise him, I ain't buying it. He knows that you're sensitive to that shit too. That, and he's using that against you. I ain't trying to hear it. Not. It's just not. And then look, this one, everybody, he's spoiled as fuck because his mom is willing to pay for the gas he uses,
and he's 4 years older.
Yeah.
And doesn't have to pay anything at all. Like he doesn't
have
to pay
man.
for his own food.
Come on.
That's the bare minimum that you can fucking do.
Yeah, yo. Come on, man. Something about that is just weird.
What? Weird. Somebody said you're the asshole for not paying for all your gas.
They trolling. They edgelording.
You are 21 years old. You have no rent. You don't pay an electric bill. You're probably stealing your parents' insurance too. And mommy is fronting you for Hot Pockets. In your responses, you said you only make $1,000 a month, as if that isn't enough for food and gas. You should be buying your parents' groceries. Holy fucking God, your post has made me irrationally angry at the entitlement of some people. Yes, your parents and brother are the assholes too, but you are the one posting. Stop using illness as a crutch. ARFID is an anxiety disorder. You need to not only be in therapy, but be pushing yourself. You aren't a child anymore.
You don't know.
You avoid certain foods because you struggle. It gets worse and worse. It's your job to become a functioning adult because your parents failed you. Yikes.
You don't, first of all.
You don't know any of that.
You don't know anything about that. You don't know if she's going to therapy. You don't know about some of these motherfuckers be edgelording and trying to be overly judgmental.
She specifically mentioned medical bills.
Yeah, so obviously there's some medical shit happening.
Right.
Like, what the fuck are you talking about, nigga?
Yes. Right. What is happening?
Well,
all right. Okay. Wait a minute. Not the asshole for being pissed, but you're the asshole for accusing him of weaponized incompetence. All right. Before I continue this, I'm pretty sure that this, I guess it would be an extreme version of weaponized incompetence. Weaponized incompetence is generally you getting somebody else to do something for claiming that you can't do it.
Okay, so let me give you an example that I have heard people bandy about.
Okay.
A man and a woman are in a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And there are certain chores that need to take place.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And the man doesn't want.
I don't do it as good as you,
right.
Or that type. Yes.
Yeah.
So this now, could these things fall under an extreme version? Maybe, I guess.
Yeah.
But or she could just be a young woman that doesn't fully understand the term and is using something that closely relates to it. But anyway, so you're the SO for accusing him of weaponizing confidence. So I get ARFID. The son of a close family friend has it bad. He literally only eats Milky Way stars and is now peg fed. And my stepson likely has it. We have thought this for years. So I completely get the distress your safe foods being eaten can cause. Now, I'm not going to judge why your brother doesn't need to work or have a rental agreement with your parents. I'm just going to ignore those for now, as that is something you need to discuss with your parents. However, from your own comments, both of you are autistic and your brother is more obvious. The reality is it may just be due to your brother's autism. He really doesn't get the issue, as it is effectively a social request which isn't clearly defined when it does and doesn't apply, apart from when explicitly labeled. Both my stepson and my son are autistic. My son is on the severe end of the scale, so I get it. Autism as well. If my son sees chocolate in the fridge, he wants it because in his head, his chocolate goes in the fridge. So why can't he eat the chocolate in there? It is a weekly battle we have, which sometimes leads to meltdowns. My stepson doesn't always get why he does this and sometimes moans about it, even though we never give our son the chocolate anyway. Stepson is very funny with people, even picking up his foods, even in wrappers. I think your brother genuinely can't make the distinction without the labels, and that is likely a limitation of his autism. It may be something he generally never gets over, so it may be something you need to find ways to resolve together going forward.
I ain't going for the part about you didn't say my friend couldn't have it.
Yeah, that is the part that's like, nah, B, that doesn't excuse, like, that could excuse the other stuff.
Yeah. But it don't.
But not you didn't say he couldn't. I mean, I guess technically it could, but I'm not accepting that.
I'm not accepting it because, like, I understand. Look, autistic people aren't stupid.
No,
they aren't stupid. So obviously, she wants to have something there for herself to eat. So don't eat it all up. If I'm telling you not to do it, that means I still want to eat it. If he eats it, I don't get a chance to eat. So fuck that.
There's a pattern here, right? Like, there are explicit clues, and then there are context clues, which are harder for autistic people to get, right?
Right.
But I don't know for sure. I would imagine that, because she said this has been a 4-year thing, I'd imagine that certain of the context clues, when being consistent over 4 years, not just the fact of her being upset when it happens.
Yeah.
I feel like that's something you should be able to understand. Yeah. I feel like that's something you should be able to. I could be wrong about that. I'm not studied on autism.
Right.
But I feel like that should be something that you should understand. The fact that she keeps getting this upset about you doing this thing, and you can rationalize it as far as saying, oh, you didn't. Okay, now weaponized the confidence makes more sense to me to be the reason that she gives. Because there is a thing that would normally cause you to have issues with understanding this situation. However, you seem to be taking that to the extreme.
Yes.
Okay. All right, cool.
Imagine
I'm more with her now.
Imagine she has her Hot Pockets,
and
she gives him the same instruction.
And
then he doesn't eat any of them. But what he does is he takes the box, goes outside, just gives it off to random people.
Right.
And then says to her, well, you didn't say they couldn't have. No!
And another thing against this comment is she specifically said to him when she bought those Hot Pockets, hey, I'm going to give you some.
Right.
I'd like to make sure there's enough for me to eat as well.
Right.
And for them to be all gone the next day.
Come on, bro.
We're not doing that. We're not doing that. We are not doing that. It's not
motherfuckers wrangling for an excuse.
Yeah. Like, bro, what are you talking
I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it.
No. No, I was partially with him at first, but then I thought about it like,
it was that part right there. That
Yeah.
boy, they say that's like a punchline in a fucking sitcom.
Facts.
Yeah, I didn't. But you didn't say he couldn't. Laugh track. No.
Facts.
No.
All facts.
Nah, I ain't with that. I ain't with it.
Oh, humans. What are you going to think of next?
Humans are ass, yo.
Bro.
I can't.
I can't stand these motherfuckers.
Yo, can y'all do me a favor?
They won't.
I'm going to be doing bundles on the Majestic store. If you haven't gotten a poster, trading cards, book, go get it. And then tell your friends, like, I gotta get the fuck away from me. Yo, next year, when we present the stuff that we present in next year, y'all see, we try, look, nigga gotta go. I can't anymore. People are fucking, and yes, I'm sure that level of incompetence can be found in every country around the world.
Sure.
I'm sick of this variety of it, though. Like this flavor of Hot Pocket, I ain't rocking with no more. It's too much. Too much. It's too much.
Thanks.
I mean, damn. And then, the thing is, one thing I noticed too, that, and this should not be a surprise to anybody, some of the worst bad faith actors are commenters on every fucking social media site. Yo, the one thing that I have seen that's been made abundantly clear to me just this week, and I knew this already, is just how many times people operate in bad faith.
Yeah.
With their talking points. This shit is crazy. And what's bad is, like, I've seen motherfuckers purposely spread the misinformation on the left and the right. And this ain't even one of the both sides. I've literally this week caught motherfuckers just making shit up just to make a situation look worse than it already is. You don't have to do that.
No.
It's already shitty.
Yep.
You don't have to do that.
No exaggeration necessary.
You don't need to. Like, just bad faith, man.
I hate it here.
I gotta get out of this place. If it's the last thing I ever did. Like, this shit is ridiculous, bro. You know who I don't want to be? One of the reasons why I haven't championed it super loud is because I don't want to be Moses. I don't want to lead motherfuckers to the promised land and not be able to enter myself.
Right.
Like, that shit would fucking suck. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
It would fucking suck.
Absolutely. That's not favorable.
No, I'm not. I'm just not.
Yeah. But yeah, that's all. That's all we've got for you guys today.
We want to thank all of you for joining us once again for another rousing edition of Black Culture Geeks podcast. Be sure to always understand that there is always music.
Always.
The way you consume it might change.
Sure.
It's always there.
Yeah.
So go to Spotify or iTunes, wherever you like to listen to music, and listen to some music from Multiple Entertainment, Tombstone Deadman, SBJ. Go check that shit out.
Thanks.
My man GA, go check this shit out. You know what I'm saying? Also, don't forget that my sister, his significant other, Chrissy, where the podcast Heard It Through the Grapevine.
Indeed.
Never forget that, because the last time or time before, I was actually first.
Yes.
And look, on another note, shit gonna get crazy. Shit's gonna be ass. But just know this: it won't get better. And with that,
Yo,
and with that,
nigga,
for my man SBJ,
you.
I am Tombstone the Dead Man, and for the greater multi-world entertainment family, we are out.
Peace.